especially if you're in a league with me, keep ignoring Kyron Williams.
And game-by-game analysis.
I will happily just bash your brains out with him.
The Sportsocracy, weekdays noon to 3 on ESPN Asheville.
Yeah!
I'm Carrie Champion, and this is Season 4 of Naked Sports. Up first, I explore the making of a rivalry. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese.
Every great player needs a foil.
People are talking about women's basketball just because of one single game.
I just come here to play basketball every single day.
Clark and Reese have changed the way we consume women's sports. Listen to The Making of a Rivalry, Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search The Making of a Rivalry, Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese, and start listening.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WM.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat for an Overreaction Monday.
You did it wrong.
Uh-huh.
Overreaction Monday.
I'm surprised you got that much energy left in you.
I'm not going to lie to you. I drank an amount that should kill most people, some horses, and the occasional very weak hippo.
Nobody's shocked. Nobody's shocked.
By the
Jeremy
way, the
goes
picture
on
I posted was not me, you jackals. I'm not that fat. I'm close, but I'm not that fat.
Jeremy goes on a business trip.
We talk business. As soon as I walked in the house, I said, business to the bar. And it just descended into the abyss.
And again, who's shocked? Yes. And then he posted an image on his Facebook page of a guy laying face down on a golf course, a very large man. And everybody thought it was
larger
him.
Than me.
And everybody thought, hey, considerably. It was considerably.
Considerably.
We didn't have anything to measure against, so we could really tell.
Look, the girth might have been right, but the height was not correct. Okay.
Well, yeah, but he was scrunched into the earth because he had already passed out. Anyhow, we're glad that you survived the trip.
I have a few stories that I'll only ever be able to tell on a fireside chat. They're good though.
They're good.
I'm convinced I met Jelly Roll. I mean, not that Jelly Roll. He probably goes by Jelly Roll.
Was he the one you took the picture of?
No, I couldn't take pictures of that. That's committed at least 2 crimes.
Uh-huh.
Maybe violated the Geneva Convention. I'm not real sure.
Well, we're glad you survived the weekend. I hope your football fandom survived the weekend because mine sure was put to the test.
How about them Denver Broncos? Let's go, man. Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in them things.
Oh, God.
I have never in my life felt more vindicated of I tried my best to tell you, and you just kept rolling your eyes. What happened? You believed in Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
And he dookied on you.
He did.
That's what he does.
He did. He did not make my weekend enjoyable, especially after that farce of a football game in Chapel Hill against JMU.
JMU actually just scored again. They've been back in Virginia for 2 days, and they somehow just scored again.
I mean, it's the worst game in the University of North Carolina's history.
Wasn't good.
And
made me a lot of money.
There's things happening in Chapel Hill. And none of it's good.
But it's Overreaction Monday.
It is.
We have our first super chat of the day, which I feel like is an overreaction.
Okay.
Yeah. Sir Jimothy, we are trash, but yes, we are still them boys. Are you though? Are you sure? Are you sure you're them boys? Because it's a bad sign when your best player says, well, we didn't really respond until the fourth quarter started. And if there'd been another quarter, well, that's the problem with quarters. There's 4 of those.
Yeah. Which star are you talking about?
Micah Parsons.
Because Dak Prescott didn't have good things to say about his teammates either.
No.
And that's kind of a major problem when you have the 2 biggest stars on the team, one on each side of the ball going, nobody else planned for this game. Nobody else prepared. Nobody else did their homework. What are we doing?
And we're going to get into all things NFL, but it is an Overreaction Monday.
Yes.
And I'm going to say something that you're going to tell me is an overreaction.
Oh, jeez.
And it's not.
Here it comes.
Sammy D, MVP.
Oh, my God.
Let's go, baby. And that's not actually the statement. Here's the statement.
What's the statement?
The San Francisco 49ers are going to regret they let Sam Darnold walk out the door in favor of Brock Purdy.
Oh, man.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, I would say that yeah, you're probably wrong.
Okay. Justify it.
I do not believe that this Sam Darnold
Which
thing
quarterback
in
would
Minnesota is real.
quarterback would you have rather had yesterday?
Sam Darnold looked better yesterday.
Not close.
Not close.
Weird. You
Absolutely.
take Trent Williams and Debo and George Kittle and, I don't know, the best set of weapons in the NFL away from Brock Purdy, and all of a sudden he becomes a stat accumulator that doesn't look particularly good. You put Sam Darnold behind a legitimate offensive line, which he has. You give him a legit number one wide receiver, and all of a sudden, he becomes Sammy D MVP.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, if he was in San Francisco, he'd be just as bad.
If Sam Darnold was in San Francisco right now, the San Francisco 49ers would be 3-0. They're 1-2 with Brock Purdy, and I'll never back off that ever. He beat you yesterday. But you're the quarterback of a team that was up a lot in a game that you had completely dominated. Then what happened? My wife is not here to back up what I'm getting ready to say. She will back it up. I called the last 5 minutes of that game to a T. I said, it's exactly what's getting ready to happen. And it did. Because Sean McVay is a really, really good coach. Matthew Stafford is a really, really smart quarterback. That was a desperate team, and San Francisco's not as good as you think they are. They're not. I tried to tell you this before the season. Yeah, they beat the smoke off the Jets. Then what happened? Weird.
Everybody got hurt, and they started losing.
Is it everybody got hurt? So you rush out to a lead yesterday in a game that you full-on dominated. Jawan Jennings looks like, for 3 quarters, he hung out next to Jerry Rice and they did the Space Jam ball thing. And you still found a way to lose. Why'd that happen?
Why did that happen?
Because Kyle Shanahan doesn't really trust Brock Purdy as much as you think he does. Brock Purdy could not come off the first read yesterday. Couldn't do it. Brandon Ayuk, irrelevant. Irrelevant for the 3rd game in a row.
Yep.
Man, Jawan Jennings, the guy that goes up against the worst corner on the team, yeah, he made that work. Yeah, I'm sure Brock Purdy's as good as you're telling me he is. And I'm sure San Francisco's going to just give him $50-some-odd million because that's not gone terribly anywhere else. Oh, wait. Miami Dolphins, Dallas Cowboys, I could argue Green Bay Packers, and if you don't believe me, they look just as good with Malik Willis as they have ever looked with Jordan Love.
They did.
Philadelphia Eagles, who, if you're an Eagles fan, and I've seen a lot of Eagles comments in the chat, don't you worry. You get the whole second half of this hour. Because I'm gonna do my best to not say wordy dirds about your team. 49ers are going to regret that they didn't sign Sam Darnold, and I had a feeling that was the way this was going to go the minute he signed in San Francisco. Or the minute he signed in Minnesota, excuse me.
Right.
He's more talented. He just straight up is. You can keep making Tom Brady comparisons to Brock Purdy. That ain't what he is. It's just not. That San Francisco team has a ceiling. And if you look up and down the NFC right now, how many teams would you take over San Francisco, honestly?
Oh, 2.
It's more than that for me.
Really?
Detroit is a no-doubter.
Yes.
Unequivocally, no doubt.
Yes.
I watched Minnesota spank you like a child the week before. So now the second time I've seen you completely bumfuzzle Brock Purdy. And that's where I'm headed with this. The book's out. But Brock, he was 22 at 30. I got it. And when it mattered most, what did he do? He let you down in a game that is completely inexcusable to lose. Fact or fiction?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, you were up pretty big. You should not have lost that game.
With 2:48 to go, The San Francisco 49ers had a 94% chance to win yesterday. And it had actually been higher. And you didn't. And not only did you lose, you lost in regulation. Losing that game in overtime, I probably would not be saying this right now. Losing in regulation, there's probably not 5 quarterbacks in this league that would have lost that game. Because you have to be aware. You have to have and that's what's been Brock Purdy's claim to fame, is that he's so aware in the moment and he's such a smart kid that it overcomes his physical limitations. And that works until teams completely figure out the book on you. He's throwing for a ton of yards. He's leading the NFL in yards, if I'm not mistaken. The better Brock Purdy statistically becomes, the worse San Francisco becomes. I'm sure that's just ironic. I'm sure it's just a happenstance. The difference between Tua Tagovailoa and Brock Purdy is damn near non-existent to me.
Really?
There's no difference in the two.
That sounds pretty damning.
Well, I mean, one of them's making $50-some-odd million. I'm not sure he'll ever play again. And I have a weird feeling if San Francisco gives this money to Brock Purdy, they're going to be in the same boat. You have to put such elite talent around him that I think practically any quarterback could make this work. Nick Mullins made it work at one time. C.J. Beathard made it work at one time. Brock Purdy's not elite. San Francisco's not elite. Kyle Shanahan's not elite.
But Sam Darnold is.
Sam Darnold would make more out of what San Francisco currently has than Brock Purdy's doing. They would not be 1-2 with Sam Darnold, and I'll die on that hill. Is Minnesota as talented as San Francisco?
I mean, considering what they've lost,
God, no. Oh, good God, no. The team that San Francisco put on the field yesterday, talent-wise, would run circles around Minnesota.
Would they?
Name the third best player on that team. I'll wait. Minnesota, the team that Minnesota played yesterday.
Yeah.
Name me the third best player on that team. Hell, I'll go a step further than that.
Hunter?
Name me a player not named Stephon Gilmore on the defense. They're all retreads. Every single one of them.
Okay.
And some of them got money. Danielle Hunter plays for the Houston Texans, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot about that.
Oh, but I'm sure San
San
Francisco's played a much tougher schedule. Oh, no, they haven't. They played the god-awful Rams, who the Arizona Cardinals beat brainless the week before. Couldn't beat them. Minnesota embarrassed you for 3 quarters. You made the score look better than it was. That game was never in doubt. Minnesota, meanwhile, yeah, they played the Giants, who are bad. We'll talk about them later because there's a narrative running around about the Giants that makes me laugh a lot. They beat that San Francisco team, and they literally just eviscerated who I think is the second best team in the NFL, and it was never close. It was never in doubt. You made C.J. Stroud look ridiculous.
They were all over him.
Yeah, proof's in the pudding. Sam Darnold's everything I told you he was. And it ain't going to stop. You can get. I posted this on social media yesterday, and you know what I got a lot of? Oh, it's only 3 games.
Yep.
You're not wrong.
It is 3 games.
It's only 3 games. You're not wrong. Sam Darnold's been in this league now. This is his 7th year. The tape's been out on what he can and cannot do, and teams can't stop him. Is he putting up video game stats? No. He doesn't have to. And but I'm sure the schedule's getting ready to get really tough. Is it? They play at the Green Bay Packers, who there's a great chance will run out Malik Willis again. He's not good. Do not fall for this. Then they play the Jets, the Lions. Then you get the Rams, Colts, Jaguars, Titans, Bears, Cardinals, Falcons, Bears again. Seahawks. There's a better than 0% chance that the Minnesota Vikings are going to be the 1 seed in the NFC. And this is not a team that's that talented. You don't even have your second receiver, and you don't have the second best player on the team, and you're still doing this. You can believe it or not. I'm officially at the point of I don't even care anymore.
Right.
Sammy D, MVP.
Minnesota Vikings, they did get the big win yesterday, 34-7 over the Houston Texans. 3 weeks into the season, Sam Darnold looks like an MVP candidate. But I don't know how many. He's better than we thought he was.
If Brock Purdy had done exactly what Sam Darnold has done, I would be getting inundated with people going, Brock Purdy should be the MVP of the league. Because I haven't seen Brock Purdy be bad for 5 years. Right. I also never saw Brock Purdy play for the New York Jets or the Carolina Panthers, of which we're saving that for the start of the next hour. I don't know. Apparently, Ginger's rock. I don't know.
It's an Overreaction Monday. Get your comments into the YouTube channel, and we will get to all of them here in the Sportsocracy, continuing to unfold everything that happened in Week 3. We'll talk about those Houston Texans next.
Saturday, September 28th, the Barn at Paint Fork presents the Artemis Pyle Band. Advanced ticket and VIP party deck experience tickets available at barnpf.com. Come experience the legendary Artemis Pyle Band. The Barn at Paint Fork, located just 18 miles north of Charlotte Street exit in Asheville. For tickets and directions, check out barnpf.com.
Hello, parents. It is Mr. Jim, and did you know it's time for story time? My podcast, Kids Short Stories, was created for our own kids. You see, my wife loved the stories I was telling to them at bedtime, and she wanted me to record them so that they could listen to them in the car or maybe during quiet time. It's now been downloaded millions of times by kids all around the world as we turn their ideas into amazing adventures. You see, kids send in their story ideas, and then I create an awesome adventure about them. Maybe they're stopping the bad guy, finding a lost treasure, or riding a unicorn through the clouds. With a new adventure every single day, we have a lot of fun together. And it also decreases screen time, which we all know that battle. Well, my friends, search for me, Mr. Jim, or Kid Short Stories. So listen to Kid Short Stories on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Are you guys ready for today's adventure? Me too, let's go!
Mira, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here!
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though, we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy on an Overreaction Monday. Sammy D, MVP.
Sammy D, MVP.
Ripped apart the Houston Texans defense yesterday.
was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely brutal.
I mean, what, he threw like 3 incompletions all day, something like that?
It wasn't a lot.
It was not a lot. He looked very, very efficient, throwing 4 touchdown passes.
Darnold was 17 of 28, 181 yards and 4 touchdowns.
17 of 28, that's worse than I thought he did. I thought he was more efficient than that.
He was real good. Aaron Jones, by the way, he's real good at football.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, I knew that.
Now, are you worried about the Houston Texans?
Worried as in, are they not going to be as good as we thought they were? Maybe a little. Worried as
Mm-hmm.
in they're going to lose this division and not make the playoffs kind of worried? No. We're 3 weeks into the season. This is just like I'm not flipping my lid over Sammy D MVP. I'm not flipping my lid over the Houston Texans.
I think there's more to be worried about with Houston than you think. They were awful yesterday. And the thing that worries me is how bad the defense looks.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Stingley is still trying to figure out where Justin Jefferson is because he still has no idea. That would worry me. They didn't look good against the Bears. They didn't look particularly good against the Colts. I now don't look at this team as
the world
right
beater.
now the second best team in the AFC.
Right. They're not the world beater we thought they would be. Not yet, anyway.
It just hasn't come together.
That's kind of how I feel. We expected a lot because of the talent. We expected a lot because of the carryover from last year. But I always kept going back to in the previews of this team quarterbacks do get worse when teams get tape on you, right? When you have new players added into a scheme, you got to figure out how all that works. I mean, the Texans are 2-1, and they did just get beat by a team that we didn't think was very good. But I think we all have to come to the realization that no matter what you think about the Minnesota Vikings, they're not that 4-5 win team we all thought they would be at the beginning of the season.
If you bet Vikings over, God bless your heart, that's going to be a winner for you.
You're going to cash that in about 3 weeks.
So I asked the question on Houston to ask this question: who are you worried about? Because I'll give you an answer, and I won't think twice about it. The Miami Dolphins are done like dinner.
Well, yeah.
I don't care if Tua comes back or not.
Really?
You're terrible. Genuinely. Just horror awful. That defense is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with Tua. I don't know how many games that team is going to win. But have you looked at the schedule?
I'm looking at it right now.
The next 4 weeks, you should come out of that with a couple wins. I have no belief you're going to.
You better.
I have no belief you're going to. Because Tua's gone for 3 more weeks, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he is hunky-dunky, that Titans team can beat you. They weren't good yesterday. Malik Willis revenge game, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
They can beat you. The New England Patriots, they were awful against the Jets, mainly because that Jet team looked pretty good.
There it is.
I wasn't around to do that on Friday.
Yeah.
That Colts team will beat you. And then it gets straight up evil.
Mm-hmm.
The end of that schedule is awful.
Cardinals, Bills, Rams. Hey, they do get to play the Raiders, so at least there's that.
I mean, I don't know which Raiders team shows up from week to week. The one that gets eviscerated by Andy Dalton?
Wait, is that an even week or an off week or an odd week? Which one is it? We need to know which one's going to show up.
Brian Butler on our Facebook page earlier, I told him, he said something about the Raiders. We suck again.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, your team's Bob. And I can't tell him he's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that Panthers-Raiders game coming up at the top of the hour here. The Dolphins are a team that I'm worried about. The Philadelphia Eagles are a team that I'm worried about.
Well, we'll talk about them in a little bit. I'm worried about them for a completely different reason. Cleveland Browns.
All my worry went out the window last week. Like I no longer expect anything from them. And now that they look terrible again, can't run the ball, don't have an offensive line.
The craziest part
You're
to me
done
is the
like
defense.
dinner.
The defense looks awful.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, you're going to get a couple light weeks, but good Lord have mercy, you don't play another bad team until after Thanksgiving. If you don't win 2 against at the Raiders and at the Commanders, you then go at the Eagles, Bengals, Ravens, Chargers, at the Saints, Steelers, at the Broncos, at the Steelers, Chiefs, at the Bengals. Woof. The Cleveland Browns might win 4 games. And it wouldn't shock me at all. What do you do well?
Nothing.
You don't run the ball well. Nick Chubb's not going to fix an offensive line.
No.
Nobody's scared of your quarterback. I saw a stat about their receivers. What do you think the average speed of their receiving core on passes thrown more than 20 yards? What do you think it is?
The average speed?
Miles per hour.
Is it 19.2?
14.3.
Are you kidding me?
That is offensive lineman speed. Running.
That does seem ridiculous.
Mekhi Becton ran 13.7 at the combine.
Yeah.
That is insanity to me. And it's not like they have really slow receivers either. I don't know what's going on. But I don't know that you're going to get out of it, and I'm not sure Kevin Stefanski's not the first coach fired.
Yeah.
You're an offensive guy. Your offense is an embarrassment.
Wow. And if you can't run the ball, I mean, that's the only thing that saves him, is that they've been able to run the ball down people's throats, right? That's the thing that mitigated the fact that Deshaun Watson couldn't throw, was that, well, we can just fire up Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford. Look, the scheme works every time, no matter who we're playing. Well, now you just lost 3 more offensive linemen in this game, and you can't block a soul. You can't open one hole. Jerome Ford averaged like 2 yards a carry, something like that this weekend.
2.7.
2.7.
3.7, sorry.
Oh,
10 carries, 37
Oh,
yards.
he did more than I thought he did.
As a team, they averaged 3.8. They carried the ball 18 times for 69 yards.
Ridiculous.
The funniest part is that the Giants were actually worse than that. They just did it so many times that it was fine. Also, they have Malik Neighbors. You remember when we were doing fantasy football things and you said, I'm not touching Malik Neighbors with a 10-foot pole.
Wouldn't do it.
And I went, I am. I'll do it happily. That's why.
Yeah.
Good Lord, that kid is good.
He is very good. And I underestimated just how a very good receiver can make an average to below average quarterback look. Justin Jefferson, Sam Darnold. I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, Daniel Jones still wasn't good.
I know he wasn't good. I'm just saying you can still find you can still score some points. You can still look flashy. You can still look like a Mr. MVP if you got a number 1 receiver.
Nobody saw Daniel Jones and win. He looks like an MVP. I promise you that. At least nobody with an IQ above, I don't know, a Pepsi can.
Tommy DeVito, his cousin, did.
Hey, gabagoo. Are you worried about the Chicago Bears?
Yeah.
You should.
I mean,
they're bad.
Pretty worried. Caleb Williams is not great.
Okay,
he's not great at football.
Can we talk about the they should have held on to Justin Fields thing?
Should they?
No. Because you still had to pay him. Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I get that you're really happy. You're 3-0. I don't know that I would be this stoked.
I'm more worried about the Chicago Bears because of the play calling doesn't seem to be there. They passed it 52 times yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Waldron.
He's not good.
What you doing, bro?
And I'll give Divine Comedy credit. He tried to tell us this. If you're buying into Shane Waldron, it is not going to go the way you think.
See, I just thought Shane Waldron, he's been, he's one of those guys. You always hear the name like, oh, he's such an offensive guy, a genius. And
DeAndre Swift.
Not so much.
DeAndre Swift in 3 games has run it 37 times for 68 yards. He is 2 yards. So if he literally ran to the line, put the ball in his face mask, and fell down, he would be doing better than he is actively doing.
Yes.
Yesterday, he was worse than that.
What, do you only do, like 1.5 yards per carry?
I think it was less than that. He had, I know Roschon Johnson led the team. He had 30 yards. DeAndre Swift had 13 carries for 20 yards. Yeah. Oh, by the way, against a defense that had been annihilated by running backs 2 weeks in a row.
Which doesn't make any sense. I said that on this here program on Friday of, well, Chicago should just go in here against Indianapolis and we're just going to run the ball right down your throat. And they come out and pass it 100 times with a quarterback who half the time doesn't know where he's going with the ball. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
The Bears are in trouble. The Bears are in trouble. And I warned every single one of you. You're expecting Caleb Williams to come in here and be a world beat. He can't read defenses. There's nothing that makes me angrier than the fact I took Rome Odunze out of my DraftKings lineup yesterday, because Rome's the zone beater, plays zone beaters against the Cardinals. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Rome Odunze. I don't care if it's Nico Collins. The receiver on a team that's really good against zone coverage, play that guy every week. They are horrifically bad in the back half. And still won.
Yep.
And still won.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. It was not a good day for the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday.
No, there are a couple of their players that you should probably tell that to, because they didn't seem to understand that.
Well, I mean, look. They did get the win, right?
Bully for you.
Go on the road. Get that tough NFC win against the New Orleans Saints, 15-12, in a game that just was god-awful on the eyeballs. But notice there was a whole lot of chirping going on. Whole lot of running that mouth after the game. Whole lot of problems within the game as well. And it all ties back to one place for me with the Philadelphia Eagles, and we'll talk about that knucklehead coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, with a front in the vicinity, we're going to keep the shower thunderstorm chance in our forecast, and we'll keep an eye on the Gulf of Mexico for potential impacts from a tropical system late week. Threat for showers and thunder showers continuing this afternoon as the numbers climb up to about 85 degrees. Probably be a little bit cooler in spots if you get rain earlier. Threat for showers and thunderstorms continues tonight, mid-60s. Tuesday and Wednesday, scattered showers, thunderstorms, highs close to 80 on Tuesday. Wednesday, highs will only be near 77. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer.
John Legend here. How do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Ask your healthcare provider and book at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
This November, the Southern Conference Women's Volleyball Championship is coming to Asheville for 4 days of bump, set, and spiking at exploreasheville.com arena. Get your tickets today and save your spot for thrilling NCAA volleyball action in Asheville this November. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you right now, like Alt 2K.
Don't wanna be an American idiot.
Just search Alt 2K and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Free never sounded so good.
Save big during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Right now, save big on appliances like the GE Stainless Steel Kitchen Suite. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 9/27 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Ford Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, back here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It is an Overreaction Monday, and there was a giant overreaction in Chapel Hill on Saturday. After the JMU game, JMU beats the Tar Heels 70-50.
They scored 46 points in the first 22 minutes.
They did. It was, I think at one point it was like 56-12 or something stupid like that. I was on the road traveling and I'm listening to the game, and it's making me mad, and it's making me like angry drive. And that's never a good thing when I have a child in the car with me. So I had to switch it off at one point. It was so embarrassing just to listen to. I can't imagine for everybody that had to watch it on television, everybody that paid good money to go to that football game at Kenan Stadium.
We were supposed to be at that game. I had to just point that out.
Yeah, had to sit there and watch that sadness unfold. Oh, I don't know, the number one recruit in college basketball that was in the building for his official visit had to sit there and watch that happen and watch the stream of fans going out of the stadium with 7 minutes to go in the third freaking quarter.
I would love to know how you put lipstick on that. It's not like this during basketball season, okay? You should still come here.
They also had that Kendra Harrison kid, the number one tight end in the country. He was in the building as well.
He's a dog, too.
Yeah, he is. There's a bunch of fishiness going on with him in the high school ranks. Did you hear that story?
No.
He went to Providence Day, so he transferred this year from Reidsville to Providence Day. He just transferred back to Reidsville like Monday of last week after playing 3 games at Providence Day. It was weird. Just strange. Taking NIL money, I guess, or he was promised NIL money and didn't get it. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, can I respond to that?
Yeah.
I don't care.
After the drubbing at the hands of the Dukes of JMU, Mack Brown goes into the locker room and apparently lost his mind. He walked into the locker room, and at some point, he left it to the players. Do you want me to quit or not? And the players, of course, were like, well, no, don't quit, coach. Please, don't do that. And then he comes back out, and it got out that he had told them that he's quitting. And now everybody goes, oh, God, Mack Brown's quitting because he's embarrassed. And then he had to come out and go, well, no, listen, I'm really not. I'm going to be at work on Monday. And then today he had a press conference to where he told the media that it wasn't fair to me to go in and put that kind of pressure on the team during the post-game press conference.
What is the scariest part of that?
The scariest part of that?
As a guy that knows this sport pretty well, been on a whole lot of different sides of it, there's one element of that story that would absolutely terrify me.
No, I've got a head coach that doesn't know if he wants to be there or not.
Nope.
That's
that's a Johnny Rah-Rah thing of you're playing so poorly that you must just want me to quit, and then you try to rally the troops. I know exactly why he said it.
Okay.
Why does anybody know about it? That should not come out of that room.
Mm-hmm.
It sure as hell shouldn't come out of that room before you're out of that room.
Right.
As soon as I saw that, I went, yep, step down.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well step down because your players respect you so little that they ran to whatever media affiliate, whoever it was, and went, you'll never guess what he just said.
Yeah.
There were still guys in the locker room when Mack had to answer this.
Mm-hmm.
That would scare me to death. And I'll be honest with you, that would be the first question that I would ask Jones Angell on Thursday.
What? How did it get out?
Does it not bother you that got out that quickly?
No, yeah.
And became just a media firestorm?
There is no, from looking on the outside looking in on this thing, I mean, how can you watch these players go through this week after week and just be lethargic and out of place and not know what the hell they're doing, and they're making major mistakes, and you got penalty after penalty, and there's turnover? It is god-awful right now for the North Carolina Tar Heels football team. And it's been that way for the last few years. You just had quarterbacks that could get you through the easy part of your schedule, which was the beginning part of the schedule. They roll through and win 9 games or 7, 8 games in a row the year that Sam Howell bolts. They do it again the year that Drake May bolts. And lose what? The last 5 or 6 games of both of those schedules? Your team fell apart at the end of the year. Now you don't have the quarterback. Now the quarterback that you planned on having is not there. You're having to do this musical chairs thing with quarterbacks, and you've lost the entire locker room. I don't feel like there's many people in that room, many of the players that are getting paid now, that respect the process, respect the coach. I think it's time to make a call on this.
It would be worrisome to me. A place where they're not worried about making a coaching decision is with the Los Angeles Chargers. They suffered their first loss of the year yesterday.
No.
But that's not what this story is about. My story would be about the fact that your coach might actually be a complete lunatic. Joey Bosa joined Green Light with Chris Long. It's Chris Long's podcast because, well, as a guy that has 3 podcasts, we all have one. And Chris Long asked Bosa about his coach and how intense he is. I'm going to read you the quote. He's been hitting the cold tub. If you don't know, if you never played, cold tub is a big metallic tub that you put ice in, basically. It's just to make yourself feel better.
Right.
And he gets in full fit, shirt still tucked in, and he's just sitting there. Long at that point asked more about the getup. And Bosa said not only does he wear his khakis in the tub, he also wears a belt. And in my head, the only thing I can see is Jim Harbaugh literally just walks into the locker room after a game and plops in the cold tub. And if I saw that, as that's my coach, I would run through a wall for you. If I saw that as an opposing player, I would immediately go, well, their coach is crazier than anybody on our team, and we're in trouble. If you're a Charger fan, you got to really enjoy how the Jim Harbaugh experience has started, even after a loss.
Yeah.
We have 2 Super Chats.
Okay.
Actually, we have 3 Super Chats. I'm going to have to do them in a specific order, though.
All right.
Red Sea asked me how the Tennessee sideline was against Oklahoma, because as he and at least 70 others of you asked, there's apparently a coach named Rhett something that coaches for Tennessee that does look – he's got long hair and a beard. Not every long-haired, bearded individual looks like me. That dude is not nearly as red as I currently am.
Just like every obese guy face planted on a golf course, that's not you either.
Well, I'm just going to throw this out there. The guy in that picture looked far more like you than he did like me, so maybe take your stones away from your glass house. Sir Jimothy said due to Bidenomics, Dallas thought that it took 5 quarters to make a game, and that's why they didn't make the comeback fully against the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh.
I can't argue with that mathing. And then our final. It's from Gage Camplin. What's going on, fellas? He's been busy with work. Football's back, baby! And then he said Nick Sirianni
does things to animals.
Yep. I'm trying to find a way to say that.
I don't think there's a good one.
It ends in dead bears, and if you've ever met me, you know what the word is in between it. Which leads us to the Philadelphia Eagles. Tank, I will allow you to wax poetic as you did to me earlier today about one Nicholas Edward Sirianni.
Well, I mean, how many examples do you need of a guy who has no control over his football team? Constantly you have a team that is putting itself in bad situations on the field, stupid penalties, and just bickering amongst each other, and we're just fighting and pussyfooting around on the sidelines. Like, what is happening to this football team? An organization that you used to think, well, if anything, they had their stuff together. Like, remember the Andy Reid era? I feel like the Andy Reid era went pretty well as far as you had all of the messiness buttoned up, right? You're more of a professional football team. And now you have a team that is just filled with malcontents. Everybody's looking for their own. Everybody's jawing at everybody else. A.J. Brown's constantly fighting with Jalen Hurts, and I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts is going to start fighting with Saquon Barkley at some point, because at some point he's going to realize that Saquon Barkley is the only real talented skill player that they have in that backfield. Not counting the wide receivers in this one. But then at the end of the game, you had Jalen Carter. He's a dog. He's, loved the way he played in college. Not necessarily wild about the attitude. And apparently they had been getting smoke all week or all game long from the sidelines and from the New Orleans players, the New Orleans fans behind the bench. And Jalen Carter just decides, you know what, I'm gonna challenge everybody to a fight. And he starts calling people out of the stands. He starts calling people from across the sidelines, from across the field on the other sidelines. And there's no control there. Like, Big Dom had to come over and try to hold him back. And Nick Sirianni is, lambasting him. Oh, you should be better than that. Well, why, Nick? Because you don't set an example.
You played a team yesterday that had 219 total yards. Dallas Goedert had 49 less than that by himself. And you needed 15 points in the fourth quarter to beat them. There are times in life to be braggadocious. There are times to show a little hubris. There are times in a competitive sport to jump up on sideline benches and scream, "I'm better than you." Yesterday was not one of those days. Let me tell you how this plays with the type of alpha male that you get in the NFL. I would wager 31 other teams, New Orleans Saints included, saw this yesterday. They also saw Nick Sirianni bypass 2 field goals in chip shot range and walk away with no points because you went for it on fourth down. They also saw Jalen Hurts, who looks absolutely confused. Do not get duped by the fact he threw 311 yards. He was a terrible NFL quarterback yesterday and has been for the better part of a year. You also have a coach that I am fully convinced is a 100% moron. You bypass 2 field goals in a very tight, very defensive-centric game where nobody is scoring a lot of points. You did the same thing last week, which tells me you're not learning from your mistakes. And I might even be able to bypass that if you didn't try to kick one from 60. The Philadelphia Eagles will win less than nothing with Nick Sirianni. You can do this in college. It does not work in the NFL. You want to be the bully, you better play like a bully, and you don't. The Eagles are 2-1. I could make the argument that they should be 0-3.
Mm-hmm.
Karma tends to find a way to level all this out. I don't think the Eagles are a top 5 team in the NFC.
Really?
I don't think they're better than the New Orleans Saints, to be really honest with you, and they beat them yesterday. And it took the greatest game of Dallas Goedert's career, and it took somebody slapping Nick Sirianni and saying, hey, maybe we should give the ball to Saquon Barkley. He's the best player on the team, and he had touched the ball 6 times at halftime.
Yep.
This is a pitifully coached team. Tank and I saw this firsthand in the offseason, and Nick Sirianni's done nothing to dispel it.
No.
Nothing.
No. What do you expect from a team that is led by a middle schooler? Because he's just an immature twit. And every time the camera pans over to his face, to me, he looks like he doesn't know what the hell's coming next. He has no clue what the game is about to throw his way. But he's damn sure going to try to fake it. I don't see any level of professionalism on the sidelines from the coaches. So why would I expect any level of professionalism from the team itself?
I just don't understand the hubris involved with a team that in their last 10 games, you're a combined 3-7. In those 3 victories, you have been absolutely the luckiest team in North America in 2 of them. You have nothing to be so braggadocious about. Nothing. And now you've put a target on your back. Because now every team in the league knows this is the most egotistical bunch in the NFL. And guess what? Next week you get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are reeling off a game against Denver. And I'll go ahead and tell you, I'll take Tampa Bay, and I won't think a second thing about it. Because I do believe Vita Vea will be back next week. Am I right or wrong on that?
So. Let's hope so. I'll give you my thoughts on that coming up in a little bit.
This is not a good team. This is not a good quarterback. This is a horrifically bad culture. And it all falls back on Nick Sirianni.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, Tampa Tom, he'll be back for the game. So, Eagles, you're done.
I mean, is he going to play? Because unless he's going to play, I don't really care.
No, he'll be back. He'll be back for he's doing the call of the game.
Gambit fan in our YouTube comment, he said this earlier, and I'm glad he repeated it because I forgot to say it here. He said, I again apologize to Jeremy for my criticizing his wanting to enter the fan transfer portal because holy shenanigans, do I get it now? That was the point. There are certain teams that are hard to pull for. There are certain times that I cannot expect somebody to look at their team and go, I'm here for this. And Nick Sirianni, that's an acceptable excuse. I don't want to pull for this.
Mm-hmm.
I still love the team. I'm having this problem with Mike Norvell right now because everything he says is completely tone deaf. And I can't do it. It's not that I don't still love the school. It's not that you wouldn't still love the team. It's that certain times you get a combination of whether it's players, coaches, whatever it is. I can't support this with my dollars. We'll try again next year.
Mm-hmm. People call that being a bad fan.
You call it whatever you want to.
I call that being a good fan because as fans, we should demand better from our teams, from our organizations, from our schools, whoever. I had this conversation with somebody on the social media last night about the Tar Heels. You should expect better from your team or your school. And if the coach is the problem, then you need to be able to say, the coach is the problem, we need to fix it. Or the players are the problem. But most of the time, when the players aren't doing what they're supposed to do, and the talent level is where it's supposed to be, I mean, it certainly was for the Tar Heels on Saturday against JMU. That's a talented team that should have beat JMU. Same thing with the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday. That's a team that should have ran over New Orleans the way that game was unfolding. But you didn't because you're poorly led. We have to be able to call that out as fans. Now, I'm not jumping into the transfer portal like you, but sometimes you just have to.
Hey, after yesterday, Maybe you should.
Well, it's all going to depend on. You're talking about the Buccaneers?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, you should be.
That wasn't great. Wasn't great. We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. We'll take a quick break. When we come back from the top of the hour break, we'll talk about the Carolina Panthers and what the hell was that? Las Vegas Raiders.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for $2. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. So call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Haywood EMC, your local Touchstone Energy Cooperative, is powering a brighter future for our community by offering college scholarships, education grants, athletic camps, and much more. Serving the rural residents of Western North Carolina with affordable, reliable, safe services and open communications for over 80 years. Learn all of the ways Haywood EMC is working in the community at haywoodemc.com/community.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dales available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays. This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, with a front in the vicinity, we're going to keep the shower thunderstorm chance in our forecast, and we'll keep an eye on the Gulf of Mexico for potential impacts from a tropical system late week. Threat for showers and thunder showers continuing this afternoon as the numbers climb up to about 85 degrees. Probably be a little bit cooler in spots if you get rain earlier. Threat for showers and thunderstorms continues tonight, mid-60s. Tuesday and Wednesday, scattered showers, thunderstorms, highs close to 80 on Tuesday. Wednesday, highs will only be near 77. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Time with family, laughs with friends, and cash back. Discover's got you covered on the last one. That's because Discover doubles all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cash Back Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news! Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at Amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to Amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol-Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
And a welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. Seen everywhere on the YouTubes. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel. That'll get you into the chat, and you can super chat, get your thoughts in on the program. You can just weigh in on this wonderful, always exciting
Overreaction Monday.
The Carolina Panthers, ladies and gentlemen, looked like an actual NFL team yesterday.
I have seen some confusing things in my life. I saw me consume 8,000 beverages and not die over the last 5 days. I saw a coach at Tennessee that looked strikingly like me. I don't know that I've ever sat around for 3 hours more confused than I was watching the Andy Dalton Rojo Rifle Carolina Panthers by comparison to the Bryce Young Panthers that I had seen in person the week before.
Disgustingly different, wasn't it? And it had to be that moment where Dave Canales is sitting back going, yep, this is it. This is what I told y'all I was going to come here and do.
I never doubted Canales.
I didn't either, but I started to for a second. Like
I didn't.
Because I don't want to believe that a quarterback is that lost, is that broken, is that just inept at making the transition from college football to the NFL. And Bryce Young most definitely is at this stage in his career. And Andy Dalton showed it to you.
And Gambit fans said, what's there to be confused about? Bryce Young isn't good. The end. No. From 2 to 53, that was the worst roster I have ever seen in my life. They couldn't do anything. Running backs were terrible. Receivers were terrible. Offensive line was terrible. Defensive line was terrible. Special teams were terrible. Coaches were terrible. That didn't even look like the same franchise. And now I say that to say this. I will take any wager you want of them against the Cincinnati Bengals next week. Anything. I don't care how many points I have to give up. I don't care how many doll hairs it is for. Because they are going to hurt your feelings. I've read this book so many times of you get we call this the new coach bump in college football.
Okay.
Coach gets fired, the assistant comes in, and they rally one for the Gipper. But they're still not good. They're still not good. You understand that, right? They're not. It's still not a good team.
Okay.
And now you get Cincinnati, and they're going to bring you right back to reality.
See, I thought you were setting that up to go the other way.
No.
You would take the Panthers against the Bengals, and I was going,
sir.
Okay, somebody went a little too crazy time with alcoholic beverages, and maybe you have alcohol poisoning.
No, I think I did at one point.
Okay, good. I'm glad that was how that ended up, because it sounded to me like you were starting to buy into the Carolina Panthers transformation here, and I think there is a transformation to buy into. It's just, this is not night and day. This is not, hey, we're a good team now. No, it's like you can come in here and you can run a solid game plan, and as long as the other team doesn't want to win, like the Las Vegas Raiders seem to do, time and time again.
The Raiders are that team is bipolar.
It's maddening.
Kevin Vick in our YouTube chat said the offensive line's been ranked really high all year. That's not hard to do when you run 55 plays a week.
Mm-hmm.
And that was on the high side. It wasn't good. Now, there is something to be said for we have a veteran quarterback coming in. Everything's in the right place. We actually believe in him. We didn't believe in Bryce.
Yes.
Now, Carolina, you don't want to win. You get that, right? Andy Dalton's not a long-term solution. He's the same age I am.
Mm-hmm.
I played 5 rounds of golf and feel like I've been in a car wreck. This is not a long-term solution. You're figuring out who is in the right places, who of these guys are going to be a part of the rebuild.
Yep.
Because Bryce Young is done like dinner in Carolina.
Yes.
If it wasn't definitively done at 4:24 yesterday, it was definitively done by 7 o'clock. You can't look that different.
Mm-mm.
And they did from top to bottom.
No doubt. That worked yesterday. Whatever that was, that game plan worked. And like I said, Dave Canales came in there and went, this is what I've been trying to say. And I think the rest of the team, that it was that bad with Bryce Young. That before the game even started, that we don't have a chance to win this game. Not with that guy at quarterback. And then Andy Dalton comes in, and it looked like a completely different team. Seemed more like everybody else was doing their jobs. There was a little bit more fire in there. Deontay Johnson's not, getting laid out trying to reach for overthrown balls. And lo and behold, he comes out and has the best game of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yardage-wise, he had a career-high 122 yards in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Chuba Hubbard was a decent running back. Had a couple of touchdowns to his credit, didn't he?
He had one, I know. He might have had.
He had the receiving one. I don't know that he ran one in. No, Miles Sanders ran one in. That was the other rushing touchdown on the game. Maybe you just can't fix a broken quarterback, and maybe that's what Bryce Young is.
Bryce Young will never succeed in Carolina. I still think he can succeed in other places.
Maybe so.
I know for a fact that at least one team has made a trade offer to the Carolina Panthers. It's not for what you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just want him out of town, that can be done. That can be done.
For a 5th-round pick, if that.
You're closer with if that.
So it is about where we were talking. Because when we first brought this up, you're getting maybe a 7.
You're looking at a conditional pick.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, if he comes in and he's your starter 2 years from now, then maybe that could bump up. The Bryce Young experiment is over in Carolina. And Andy Dalton gave you one really good day here. And I understand why you're all happy about that. I do. It is not lost on me either that there are a lot of teams that are just bad situations for quarterbacks. The Carolina Panthers have been. I posted this on our social media yesterday. Do you know how many quarterbacks in the history of the Carolina Panthers have a winning record?
Oh, it's got to be 2, maybe?
5. It couldn't possibly be 2 unless they had gone 2-14.
They're terrible.
Who do you think those quarterbacks are?
Oh, I don't know. Let's go Jake Delhomme.
That's 1.
Cam Newton.
That's 2.
Andrew Dalton.
Andy Dalton is not 1. He was 0-2. He is now 1-2.
Shoot.
A lot of people, that one was commented a lot.
Rodney Peete.
Rodney Peete is 1.
Steve Berline?
Steve Berline is 4.
And there's one more?
Yep. First pick in history of the franchise.
Kerry Collins?
Kerry Collins.
Really?
Didn't play enough games. I think he was like 2 games over 500.
Ah.
But I mean, you just look over the course of the franchise. Oh, yeah, we've had a history of doing this. The Cleveland Browns have had a history of doing this. The New York Jets have had a history of doing this. Weird. Quarterbacks go to these teams. They go to other places and they get better. Sam Darnold was the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
It was a train wreck. Goes to the Minnesota Vikings after 1 year at the Kyle Shanahan rehab and day spa in San Francisco. And all of a sudden, hey, look, that's the quarterback I thought you were getting 7 years ago. Baker Mayfield, complete train wreck in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Spends an hour with Sean McVay. Looks like a competent quarterback, except when he's playing the Denver Broncos. I resisted. I did. I resisted to take that shot, but it felt good to do.
I'm so glad that you did.
Some teams are just not built sustainably for quarterbacks to be good. The Chicago Bears are one of these teams. There are a few reasons for that. It's hard to be a really good quarterback in cold weather. Tom Brady is, to me, that's what makes him the biggest anomaly. Because if you look at the quarterbacks historically that have been top fiver guys, he and John Elway are the only two that didn't either play in a dome or play in warm weather. Dan Marino, warm. Joe Montana, warm. Steve Young, warm. I could do that. Peyton Manning played in a dome.
Yeah.
I could do this for a long time. There's a reason for that. Hard to be a good quarterback when you got driving wins like you do with the Jets, like you do with the Browns. Carolina doesn't have any of those excuses. It's just institutional problems. And this is where I would caution you before you get excited about another rookie a year from now. I want you to look at that quarterback class and tell me which ones they can't miss. I'll wait. Quinn Ewers, he's super talented. His bones are made of popsicle sticks. Arch Manning looks better than him 2 weeks in. Shedeur Sanders, don't make me laugh. Carson Beck, see previous statement.
Jackson Dart.
Well, there's the one. There's one that's pretty good. Jackson Dart's pretty good at football. It's not a great environment for quarterbacks to develop in. No. I think Canales can change that. But I would also be remiss if I didn't point out, as a fan of one of these teams, it's a lot more fun to watch Aaron Rodgers throw darts because I don't have to teach you to do squat.
Right.
You just come on in and Matthew Hoffman said Brett Favre. Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers are both. I don't put them top 5. Rodgers is close. Favre is closer to like the low teens.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, in large part, the elitist of the elite don't tend to play in cold weather.
I've never seen Dave Canales work with a rookie. Right now I have that in my head. Now I have this, wait a minute, he made Geno Smith better. He made Baker Mayfield better. Bryce was broken and looked lost for the first 2 games that he, was with Dave Canales. And now I've seen Andy Dalton for a game look like, the second coming of Sam Darnold. And
that felt good.
Did it? Did it make you feel good?
It did.
But maybe that's just it. Maybe the Dave Canales system is not built for a guy who has who has very little to work on in this.
And there are systems that work that way.
So maybe that's not the solution here. Maybe we don't go after the rookie quarterback. Maybe you try to find a veteran somewhere.
It is. I think there is something to be said that the hit rate on rookie quarterbacks has never been lower. It's not. Every rookie in this class outside of Jaden Daniels has looked completely incompetent every time they've been on the field except when they played Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie to you, that's not ironic because you said this to me earlier.
Yeah.
When you drop everybody out, and I've got all the time in the world because you can't get home,
yeah.
I got time to think.
Yep.
Caleb Williams is overthinking everything he does. By the way, I do find it funny that all of those people said, well, the Bears got the better quarterback. Are you sure? Because I'm not so sure.
Yeah, no.
It's tough. It's tough to find quarterbacks in the NFL. It's tough to develop quarterbacks in the NFL. Bryce Young needs a change of scenery. Andy Dalton can get you through this year and show you what you've got in a Xavier Legette, show you what you've got in a Jonathan Brooks, who I think will be back in a couple weeks, show you what you've got in a Jonathan Mingo, see if the line is competent. Bryce Young can do none of those things because the team you and I saw in Charlotte was embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody looked competent. And so this is why I said you had to sit him down. I didn't think this was coming. I would have still taken Raiders minus, what was it, 5.5? I think that's what that came down to.
Yep.
I would have still taken that. I didn't, but I would have.
I think everybody took a bath on their survivor pools this week.
Now, a lot of people did. And a lot of
with
people,
that one in Tampa.
We got a lot of messages about your team saying,
oh, yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
But I do have some good news. We got a new sponsor around here, and I'm going to tell you all about it. It's Monday, which means it's America's favorite night of football, and I want to tell you about my new favorite place to watch those games, Casablanca Cigar Bar. I love a good smoke and an old-fashioned after a long day, and nowhere does it better than Casablanca. Their state-of-the-art smoke ventilation system makes for a comfortable bar experience, whether you're a smoker or not. Some people show up at the bar just for the bar because they have that much of a selection. Stop by their Asheville location at 18 Lodge Street in Biltmore Village or in Hendersonville at 411 North Main Street. For the 2 Monday night football games tonight, box special, 20% off if you buy 5. It's a whale of a deal. And tell them Jeremy from the Sportsocracy sent you.
Coming up after the break, we'll learn more about our good friends over at Casablanca Cigar Bar. Stay tuned here on ESPN Asheville.
Hello, parents. It is Mr. Jim, and did you know it's time for story time? My podcast, Kids Short Stories, was created for our own kids. You see, my wife loved the stories I was telling to them at bedtime, and she wanted me to record them so that they could listen to them in the car or maybe during quiet time. It's now been downloaded millions of times by kids all around the world as we turn their ideas into amazing adventures. You see, kids send in their story ideas, and then I create an awesome adventure about them. Maybe they're stopping the bad guy, finding a lost treasure, or riding a unicorn through the clouds. With a new adventure every single day, we have a lot of fun together. And it also decreases screen time, which we all know that battle. Well, my friends, search for me, Mr. Jim, or Kid Short Stories. So listen to Kid Short Stories on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Are you guys ready for today's adventure? Me too, let's go!
Got chronic joint pain but want to avoid steroids and surgery? Take some advice from pro football legend Emmitt Smith. Call QC Kinetics.
Let QC Kinetics help you improve your quality of life with biologic therapies that get your body to repair and restore damaged tissue.
These exciting new regenerative treatments from local medical professionals can help your body heal itself with lasting pain relief.
Trust me, you want to avoid surgery if you can. Check out these biologic treatments to see what your options are.
QC Kinetics. Restorative, regenerative solutions with no downtime, no surgery, no drugs.
I'm talking about joint pain we all can relate to in your knees, your shoulders, your hips, and your lower back. They'll get you feeling good again.
Get relief now.
What are you waiting on? Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Hi, this is Caleb Rudow, and I'm running for the 11th Congressional District in the November 5th general election. Have your voice be heard, and make sure you register to vote today. Your vote counts.
A public service announcement from iHeartMedia Asheville.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though, we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Welcome back in the Sportsocracy. We're here at Casablanca Cigar Bar. Exciting things in the Sportsocracy. We're here with Trevor Seibert. He is the big dog here at Casablanca. Trevor, tell us a little bit about yourself and the things that go on here at Casablanca.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, Trevor Seibert, I'm the CEO of Casablanca Cigar Bar. We've got 2 locations. We got one here in beautiful Biltmore Village, and a second location out in Hendersonville, right in downtown off of 4th and Main Street. Been around since 2016, 2017, this location specifically. And then in the middle of the pandemic, we opened up our second location in Hendersonville. Got the bar up and running in 2023 there. So just been serving the community ever since. So
we are at the location on Lodge Street right here in Biltmore Village. Trevor has what looks to be a very tasty treat. Tell us about what's in your hand there.
Yeah, so we've got the S84 Blackened released this year. It's a nice breakfast cigar. I usually enjoy an M81, but you had mentioned you hadn't had breakfast yet, so I didn't want to hurt your feelings with a cigar first thing in the morning. So the S84's got an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper on it. Nice, smooth, easygoing cigar that's going to be mild. Not going to hurt your feelings if you smoke it on an empty stomach. It's got the same binder and filler as the M81. It's a collaboration with James Hetfield from Metallica. He worked with Drew Estate to create the M81 cigar, and then this year they released the S84. And it's just, the M81 is my favorite stick on the market right now, and the S84 is probably in my top 10.
So you're telling me this is a Metallica cigar?
Correct. That is accurate.
I'm very excited for this. We're gonna enjoy these while we talk about the things that go on here at Casablanca. We're very excited in the Sportsocracy to announce that this is a new sponsor of ours. They're new friends of ours. Trevor and I have been talking for the last handful of days, and you're going to see a lot of content right here from inside Casablanca. This place is very close to my house. We're also going to hit the location in Hendersonville, which is located where?
It's on the corner of North and Main Street, right next to Postero.
Okay. And I love downtown Hendersonville. So what we're going to be doing here, every week you're going to see me on location enjoying one of these fine cigars, because there are 2 things that I love in life more than just about anything other than my wife and my children. That's cigars and whiskey. I've never had a better old-fashioned in my entire life. And for those of you that have listened to us for a long time, you know with me, that's a pretty high bar.
Yeah, I told you, I think it was a week ago, that I believe we have the best old-fashioned on the planet, and was excited to be able to serve that for you and confirm that with you. So.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, you have the best one that I've ever had, and that's a pretty high bar. But Trevor, you're not just the CEO here at Casablanca. You also have a big role in the sports world. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I also coach high school ball at Tuscola High School out in Waynesville. I'm the special teams coordinator and wide receiver coach out there, so work with the varsity and JV group. So, spent a lot of times in the evening out there at Tuscola, coaching them up and helping out there as much as I can. And then on Thursdays and Friday evenings, it's game time. So
something that's always intrigued me about coaches here, especially in Western North Carolina, because so many of them do have jobs just like you do. How do you balance those 2 things with the love of the cigar bar here and the love of the players that you coach?
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't say it takes a lot from my wife, right, to do what she does, to handle the family side of things with 2 little girls at the household. It's a lot of early mornings and a lot of late evenings, working in the morning, getting things done for the cigar bar and the company as a whole, still getting out there and seeing the regular guests and people that come in here. And then making my way, down I-40 to Waynesville and coaching the kids there and having a good time. So it's certainly a lot from a time standpoint. But when you love both things that you're doing, it's pretty easy to do.
Tank and I routinely say that anybody that's involved in sports has to have 2 things: a real commitment to what they're doing and a very understanding wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
With us, we live on the road. And I'll be honest with you, I think your commitment to sports in this area is even greater than ours, because that is, you got to understand how far is it from here to Waynesville every day?
It's a 40-minute drive from here to the high school. When I'm at the Hendersonville location, generally that's about an hour road trip from our Hendersonville location to Tuscola High School.
That is a real commitment to football in our area. Trevor, you're doing big things here for football season. Tell us a little bit about your specials that you're going to be running here at Casablanca, specifically tonight with Monday Night Football.
Yeah, so, we love football here at Casablanca just as much as the next person. So we'll have both games running. We've got 3 large screen TVs in here. We'll have both games running at the same time. We'll have some cigar deals going on. So generally we do a box discount for our cigars here. If you buy a box of cigars, you get 20% off. What we like to do on Monday nights is if you buy 5 cigars, we'll give you the box discount. So 20% off of cigars if you buy 5 or more. Our beer specials, it's $4 for any beer that's in-house draft.
You cannot buy a beer in Asheville for $4. I don't care what it is. That's a screamer deal.
Aggressive, I like to call it. That's draft, bottle, or can. And then we like to serve our people that are here, our guests, like that we call them. And we'll have some sort of food appetizer here. Might be pizza, might be wings, might be popcorn chicken. Generally, that's a game time decision for our store manager, and they'll make that decision tonight. But both locations will be doing it, Hendersonville and Biltmore Village, so we're excited about it.
That is an exciting deal for Monday Night Football. Now, before we get out of here, I always like to ask people about their affiliations in sports. So we'll start in college.
Yep.
You're a Penn State guy.
Penn State guy.
Penn State was one of the schools in our fan transfer portal. Had it not been for some geographic restrictions that they had, there's a good shot that could have been my fan allegiance for the year because that team looks really stout.
Yep.
Tell me how you feel about Drew Aller and how things are going in Happy Valley so far in the 2024 season.
Yeah, I love the addition of the new offensive coordinator from Kansas that we brought in. I'm going to forget his name, but the defensive coordinator we brought in from Indiana. It's hard to replace a Manny Diaz at defensive coordinator. But, I say this about Penn State with a lot of love in my heart. Every year if we're going to make the playoffs and host a home playoff game, make it to the quarterfinals or semifinals and lose to the eventual national champion, that's not a bad year for Penn State. That's as realistic as I can be with them. We've been in the Big Ten East for so long, playing Michigan and Ohio State every year. I'll tell you, it's a breath of fresh air to know we're not going to have to go through that gauntlet of a schedule in our own conference and division within the conference. So I feel pretty good. I feel like we're probably going to lose one game in the regular season to Ohio State. I think we'll win out the rest of them. And then really hoping we get to host a playoff game because I know what that atmosphere is like. My grandparents grew up 10 miles from the college. I've been to games with over 100,000 people in those stands, and I get goosebumps talking about it now. But that place is ruckus as can be when it's a good crowd and a good game, and I can't imagine what a playoff game would be like there.
A playoff game in Happy Valley would be electric. I would be remiss if I didn't ask, because I'm asking every college football fan this. So you're a lifelong Penn Stater.
Yep.
I'm a lifelong Florida State guy.
Yeah.
Watching from the 10,000-foot view, you're watching your team, but you're seeing the devastation that's happening in Florida State.
Yeah.
Does it make me less of a fan to enter the fan transfer portal?
A little bit. You got to ride or die with the team.
There was no wrong answer to that, by the way, because I've heard everything from pillar to post.
Yeah.
Now, my allegiance will always stay with Florida State, but with the tour, I got to have somebody to pull for. So I ask you this question: if you were not a Penn State fan, if you had to choose a team, you told me you were at Tennessee, Kent State.
Yeah.
You're up there with John Crompton, former Tennessee quarterback.
Yep.
Is Tennessee the school that you would choose?
Probably. I went to a game back in 2007. It was a night game against South Carolina, and they won in overtime in that game, and really enjoyed that environment. At the end of the day, I'm a huge football guy, so any place that has a great environment and great football is fun to get behind. Obviously, I would never jump on a Michigan or an Ohio State or any of those schools, kind of bandwagon, we'll call it. But, Tennessee's a fun one to root for, especially now. They've got watching their offense is a lot of fun.
They had the head coach, Peyton Manning, and Nico Iamaleava They walked out with Morgan Wallen at his concert last night. And I'm not going to lie, I watched that and went, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I'm just like you. I live in the South. I've got all these schools around Florida State. I can't hop on any of these bandwagons. I hate these teams. I just need somebody to root for. NFL Philadelphia Eagle guy.
Yep.
Quick take. How you feel about Nick Sirianni?
You know, I like the guy. Obviously, he got us to a Super Bowl there with Jalen Hurts. It was either his first or second year. I can't remember exactly which year it was for him. He's made some interesting choices.
No doubt.
It's hard to argue with an NFL head coach, right? Like, they know football. You know, you learn this when you're coaching and you're on the sidelines and you hear some of the stuff coming from the stands and you're like, hey, you really think I don't know what I'm doing here? But yeah, it's tough to question those things. But when you leave points on the board, that's always something to question. I think that's a pretty obvious, like, what are we doing here? But, you know, they've been successful. They've made the playoffs. You know, every year he's been the coach there. So I feel like if they clean up a couple of things, they still can be competitive, especially in the NFC.
No doubt. Trevor Seibert, we're at Casablanca Cigar Bar. Trevor, give them the address, and hopefully you'll see a bunch of our fans here tonight, and they'll become new fans of yours.
Yeah, 18 Lodge Street, Asheville, and 411 North Main Street, Hendersonville.
Trevor, absolute pleasure. Look forward to seeing more of you throughout the football season. And everybody here in the Sportsocracy, Casablanca Cigar Bar, your new watch place for Monday Night Football in the Sportsocracy. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, with a front in the vicinity, we're going to keep the shower thunderstorm chance in our forecast, and we'll keep an eye on the Gulf of Mexico for potential impacts from a tropical system late week. Threat for showers and thunder showers continuing this afternoon as the numbers climb up to about 85 degrees. Probably be a little bit cooler in spots if you get rain earlier. Threat for showers and thunderstorms continues tonight, mid-60s. Tuesday and Wednesday, scattered showers, thunderstorms, highs close to 80 on Tuesday. Wednesday, highs will only be near 77. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Spruce Pine Chevrolet GMC.
Fall into savings at Spruce Pine Chevrolet GMC with amazing lease offers on all new Silverados, Sierras, Terrains, and Equinoxes. Now is the time to save big. Visit us today at 36 Chevrolet Boulevard or online at sprucepinechevrolet.com.
The biggest headliners in live music shared the stage this past weekend at our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Big Sean,
Camila Cabello, Doja Cat, Dua Lipa, Gwen Stefani, Halsey,
Hosier, Keith Urban,
New Kids on the Block, Paramore,
Shabuzi, The Black Crowes, The Weeknd, Thomas Rhett,
Victoria Monet,
Chris from the band Coldplay.
This lineup for this festival is nuts.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Get ready to relive the once-in-a-lifetime moments starting October 7th, only on Hulu.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
Celebrate the spirit of Oktoberfest in Asheville. Saturday, October the 5th at Pack Square Park. Oktoberfest features 20-plus local breweries, cideries, wineries, and distilleries. You can indulge in delicious German-style cuisine from local food vendors and dance along to the lively tunes of the polka band Lagerhosen. Get your tickets now at AshevilleDowntown.org. AshevilleDowntown.org. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy, you've been gone for a little while. And I've been wanting to tell this story.
Oh, I was about to say, no, I won't tell any of the stories that happened while I was gone.
We don't encourage any self-incrimination.
I'll tell you when you're older.
We're not going to do that. But while you were gone, did you pay attention to the international news cycle at all? Did you?
I didn't watch a television for 4 days.
Did you hear about the greatest military plan I think I've ever heard of?
I did not.
So, there's this little skirmish going on between Israel and Hezbollah over there in the Middle East.
That's a way to put that.
You've heard of this.
I have.
Last week, all of a sudden, in the middle of the day in Beirut, certain Hezbollah fighters' pagers started exploding one by one. And it turns out that what has happened in the investigation of the days after, what happened was, so they decided to start using pagers and walkie-talkies to communicate amongst the terrorists and not using cell phones anymore. Apparently, Israel knew that they were going to do this, that they were going to make the shift to pagers and walkie-talkies. So Israel went and created a company of pagers and walkie-talkies, stuffed those with explosives, and then sold them to Hezbollah under an assumed identity to get all of these pagers in the hands of the fighters. And then, in a coordinated effort, just went, flip the switch, and then all of a sudden, dudes' waists just started exploding all over Beirut, all at the same time. I think that's one of the funniest things I think I've ever heard. Of your enemy country went out and bought antiquated technology that they knew you were going to use, stuffed it with explosives, and then just went, you know what? We're also not going to put lethal amounts of explosives in them. We're just going to let you deal with the injuries later. Diabolical. Sounds like something Jeremy would do.
Not as much as the story I'm getting ready to tell. It sounds like something I would do.
Oh, my God.
It's shenanigans at the Oklahoma State Fair.
Uh-huh.
They had a contest called the Stinkin' Sentra Giveaway.
That sounds gross.
It's grosser than you think.
No.
4 dudes enter a car. They are not allowed to throw anything out of the car. They are not allowed to do anything outside of the car.
Mm-hmm.
You can assume how bad this vehicle begins to smell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there were rules. There were rules. But this was not covered. So they had a porta potty that was outside of the car.
Okay.
And they would take a break every 6 hours.
Okay.
Well, when it got down to 2 people, we had Brian Richmond of Chickakada, Oklahoma?
Chickakada?
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
I don't know. And Chris Deschner of Arkansas. Well, one of them, be Mr. Richmond, decided that, they gave him a cup to fill up with water so he could take it back from the water fountain. He decided to fill it up with contents of the porta potty and then get back into the car and hold it, which rushed his combatant out of the car, as it would me, immediately.
Bingo.
So I ask, fair or foul?
Fair. and foul at the same time.
But definitely foul.
It's totally
It's
foul.
100%
but that
foul.
is all fair. Absolutely.
I want to disagree with you, but I can't.
Mm-mm. How long did this last? Was this like, were they in it for days?
Yes.
See, I'd have had to cut that short. I would have had to cut that trip short. I would have just messed myself right there like day one. Just, bah! There we go. What are y'all going to do now? You going to sit it? I mean, I can sit in it all day.
Oh, you just give it
I can sit in my poo pants all day. I can take it as long as you can.
You would have given him a Rafi bomb. Rafi bomb!
We got to thin this competition out here quick.
Have you ever done one of those contests where you like have to keep your hand on a car?
No.
Or something?
It seems like the dumbest thing. Like, I'm not going to win this. I'm going to get tired of it.
Oh, no doubt.
I know there's a car at the end of this journey, but I'd really, you know what? Sister, you can have it. I don't need it.
I mean, here's my thing. Your prize here was a Nissan Sentra.
Is that worth dutying yourself over?
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is completely fair.
Yeah, honestly, the nickname Kevin Crappy Pants is not enough for Sentra. Out.
Maybe for
the Parks Ford Mobile Studio Ford F-250 from Parks Ford Hendersonville. Absolutely.
He just soiled that truck.
But you're not pooing in my truck, so that's a rule. And if you do, you're gonna fight me like a man. How about that?
I mean, I guess that's fair. Just, you know.
We have our next super chat of the day, and this one, my portly friend, is aimed directly at you.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah! It's from our buddy Soren Eagle. Said, I don't know if I missed this part of the show, but let me ask old Tank Esquire here. You want to talk about it? Comes from our Bronco fan friend.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, what is there to talk about?
Proceed.
It's just one more example of how when you get a little bit of faith, Todd Bowles is going to crush your faith. As Jeremy tells me each and every time that I start to think, holy cow, this team might be decent, they come out and do something like they did yesterday and just completely buck it up at home. Like, there is no way.
That started with a buh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been practicing that, too. It's just so Todd Bowlesy what happened yesterday.
Which part? The fact that you only had 223 yards of total offense?
Well, I mean, that's Baker Mayfield. That's just straight up on everybody decided to have a bad day yesterday. I don't know if it was just everybody walking around the $1 place last week feeling their own press clippings and breathing in their own stench. But nobody showed up prepared for that game yesterday. The defense is hurt, yes. Vita Vea, he could have made a little bit of a difference. Antoine Winfield, if he'd have been playing, maybe he'd have made a little bit of a difference. But beyond those dudes, when they're not on the field, this team is god-awful. And everything on display yesterday was the miss after miss after miss that we've had in the NFL draft. Jason Light's, oh, man, I wanted to say a word there that probably would have got me fired.
Don't do that, because I'm in no position to defend you today.
His just inability to make good, solid draft picks has killed this team. And when you take away the good players that you do have, it was apparent yesterday there was nothing there. There was no pass rush. There was nothing from Yaya Diaby or Logan Hall or Savassier Dennis or whatever failed draft pick you want to throw out there. Cody Monk, that guy looked like a goof, and I was all about it when he got drafted. Like, yeah, this is going to be fun. He kind of looks like Jeremy, and he's missing some teeth, and he's a gamer. That dude needed to stay in Canada or wherever the hell he came from.
North Dakota State.
Terrible at NFL football. Tristan Wirfs got his bag and just went, yeah, you know what? I'm done.
I'm done trying.
I'm done.
I don't want to anymore.
Fruit talking now. I'm just going to be bad at this whole blocking thing. And yesterday, Todd Bowles sat back in his little zone and let Bo Nix pick them apart. It was an atrocity from the top to the bottom. And it just showed me further that this ship is continuing to run aground as slowly as frickin' possible.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself.
I just sat there dumbfounded going, what? This is not the same team that showed up last week. This is not the same team that showed up week before last.
Oh, it was. Todd Bowles, this is the best analogy maybe ever. Todd Bowles is like being in a relationship with somebody that just like cheats on you all the time. And so they do it and you get angry and you're like, oh, I'm leaving. And then they take you to Aruba and buy you a tennis bracelet and tell you you're pretty. And they're awesome for 2 or 3 weeks. And then they hook up with the maid in the hotel in Aruba. And it's just this vicious cycle of every single time you try to trust him, he's going to go stinky Centra, poop in a cup, and ruin your day.
Yeah.
I've never seen, in all of my years with the NFL, I've never seen a more predictable human than Todd Bowles. I see it coming every time. There's a gleam.
Did you know that was going to happen?
Yes.
Did you know they were going to do that against Denver?
Lose, yes. Get annihilated, no. And if you don't believe me, I'll happily put my DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet sports, app up in front of the screen and show you Jeremy wins Denver Broncos.
Yep.
Money line. You have a look in your eye, and you are the living embodiment of Buccaneers fans. And every time I see it, I don't always get it right the first week, because I'll be honest with you, I hit that button and went, oh, my God, I don't want to do this, because I thought it'd be next week against the Eagles. I was willing to take my lump, though. I was willing to take my lump just on the – I don't want to miss these. I only get 1 or 2 of these a year where Tank falls for it.
Right.
And so far, in 4 years of this, I think I'm like 6-1 betting against the Bucs that next week.
Mm-hmm.
My only regret of going on this business trip the last handful of days was that I didn't get to see the look in your face when I picked the Denver Broncos, not only to cover, but to beat you outright.
Right. Yeah, because I'd have called you a moron. Because it was inexplicable to me. No reason that should have happened. Yet somehow, Todd Bowles found a way to be Todd Bowles. And this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team found a way to turn the clock back to 1988.
Yep.
We should have been wearing the creamsicles. Because that's exactly what that team looked like.
Stop falling for it ever. As long as he's your coach, you're going to be bad.
GG Gambling says, yeah, but Tank, every season Todd Bowles has a grumper. Yeah, he does. Said it was amazing that they just stopped running the ball. And honestly, Tank, I wouldn't be shocked if they looked past Denver. Yeah. All of those things exist. But to me, it goes back again to Todd Bowles, to the coaching staff. Right? You got to have your guys locked in and ready to go beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. Denver is not better than you are.
No. And that was not my stance.
And you got trounced.
NFL football, the worst team you've ever seen, is so much closer to an average NFL team than you would ever suspect. And all it takes is 1 week of, the practices aren't up to snuff. Maybe we're looking ahead. Maybe we're just, we got a bye week coming up, and that's all it takes. And you'll get smoked.
Yeah.
And we see games like this every single year. Todd Bowles is the world's worst for it. This is probably a good time to mention, you do realize how close I am with the New York Jets, right? Like, been told this by more than one person. Yeah. Man, he takes his eye off the prize really easily. It's his biggest downfall as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And Bucky Irving is your running back moving forward. Just throwing that out there.
Yes.
He's the best player on that offense, not named Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. And I don't know that it's close.
Yes. But I do want to point out, though, I hope everybody listened to me on Chris Godwin again. Feel like I'm still batting 1,000 on Bucs receivers.
He does seem to really be enjoying this offense.
Yeah, he loves it. Could be one of the best seasons he's ever had. Yesterday was an absolute embarrassment. And I get every Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan sitting there feeling the same feelings that Tar Heel fans were feeling of, what are we doing? This is a team that doesn't even look like it belongs out on the field against an inferior opponent. And it's got to start with the coach.
Our buddy Colin has taken the opportunity to basically hit the buzzer of enough talk of your god-awful Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
Hit the button. There it is. He said, okay, tell me what is going on with the Ravens. The Cowboys should never had a chance to win that game last night. They really didn't, by the way. And the Jets are getting better week by week. Yes. Yes, they are. And it's scary, me having my Chiefs face them. A lot to unpack there. What's going on with the Ravens? I tried to tell you on Mark Andrews. Big lumbering tight ends like that don't come back from injuries like that without suffering a little bit. He can't separate.
Yeah.
They counted on him being able to separate. They wanted to play 12 personnel a lot. They thought that Zay Flowers and having Derrick Henry and that would all be hunky-dunky. It's not. Okay, they beat the smoke off the Cowboys for 3 quarters. You don't have the weapons to beat good teams. That has nothing to do with the Cowboys because they're not one of those. I think Baltimore has a legit problem. I'm actually going to drop them more in the power rankings than I did from 2 losses in the win against the Cowboys because you don't have a clue how to win. This is a team that was built to, I guess, ground and pound and beat you with the defense. Well, the defense is not any good. You have a single one corner. That's it. Everybody else is just a sieve. And I don't know. I'm looking around the AFC going, Buffalo plays tonight. Buffalo's good. I don't know how they're so good, but they are.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City is really good, and they get every single call. How was that not defensive pass interference last night?
It was.
I just
no doubt.
For the betterment of my own life, could somebody please explain to me how that's not defensive pass interference? The Jets appear to be reasonably formidable. And now here's the thing that would concern me if I was a Ravens fan. They're all better at the thing you're trying to win doing than you are. The Jets will ground and pound you better than you will.
Yep.
The Kansas City Chiefs with a healthy Isaiah Pacheco will do the same thing. The Buffalo Bills, James Cook, looks really good. That would concern me.
Well, you got to have the defense to back it up. And that seems to be a problem.
They don't.
Getting the lead and letting it just go away.
They're missing Mike McDonald a lot right now. Zach Orr, I get it. He's one of your guys. I told Tank this in the offseason. That gives me a little bit of angina that you bypassed Anthony Weaver to give him this job. I love Anthony Weaver. And the defense in Miami is not particularly good. I don't think it's really talented. He was the right choice in Baltimore. You missed. You made the wrong decision. And now you're going to have to rally around that, and I don't know how you do it. I really don't. Because Pittsburgh looks better than you. Top to bottom, 1-53 in terms of talent on the roster, they're not. As a team, they most certainly are. Cincinnati, I have a better idea about them after tonight, I do believe.
But are they just looking for an identity? The Baltimore Ravens still trying to figure out who they are. And then they found something early on against Dallas? Or is it that Dallas is just that bad at stopping the run? Because they ran for, 273?
There's a lot.
As a team on them?
Another part of this that would be unsettling to me, Lamar Jackson was practically flawless yesterday. How in the world is Dallas in this game? You killed them. Yeah, I mean, this game wasn't even close. We should have been walking away from this going, see, that's Baltimore. Instead, you give them some kind of life, and now we're talking about why did Dallas not come on until the end? It's a bad recipe. This whole team to me is screaming bad recipe. And your schedule's awful. You don't get layup games. This is the closest to a layup game you get. And you still made it hard. I don't know. I don't know what to do with Baltimore anymore. They get the benefit of the doubt because they're Baltimore. If this was any other team, that's the 20th best team in the NFL. What I've seen for 3 weeks, you're the 20th best team in the NFL. This was the Cleveland Browns. Fact or fiction, that's exactly what we'd be saying right now.
Yes. No doubt.
Cincinnati Bengals, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh Steelers, same thing, which is weird because they're actually more consistently good than you are. But it is what it is.
Yep.
I'm curious if the message with John Harbaugh has gotten stale.
Possibly.
There does not look to be a lot of pep in Baltimore.
Well, and how many times have we been through this?
No doubt. They could turn this around in 2 weeks and all of a sudden be 10-6 with 1 week to go in the season competing for the AFC North.
Yep.
But right now, it don't look good.
No. Sometimes you just need time to figure it out. You need time to find, like I said, your identity on the field. You got to figure out how to get more people involved, though. You damn sure need to invest in some more weapons to kind of, diversify, but your defense looks like it's a major problem.
We have a super chat on our way into the commercial break.
All right.
Yeah! Red seat. Fortunately, Jeremy, that's a simple answer. It wasn't pass interference because the player committing the foul was wearing a Kansas City Chiefs jersey. That's as good an answer as I've got.
It's starting to look that way, isn't it?
It really, this is feeling very New England circa 2009. I hated it then and I hate it now.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Does your home need a new look? Step into a world of flooring possibilities at the Carpet Barn. Plush carpet, sleek hardwood, stylish tile. The Carpet Barn has it all. Whether you want comfort, durability, or that wow factor, you'll find it in their 300,000 square feet of flooring options. Find the perfect floor for your lifestyle and budget. Head to CarpetBarnCarolina.com for your free in-home estimate now. Veteran owned and operated. The Carpet Barn, the one-stop shop for flooring.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Pro Football Hall of Famer and 3-time champion. Trust me, I know about joint pain.
Pro Football's all-time leading rusher Emmitt Smith talks about chronic joint pain and exciting new regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics.
I know what it's like to fight through pain, but now, you and I, we have help. QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced, all-natural regenerative medicine that can give you lasting relief with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Do you suffer with constant pain from arthritis or injury? Pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or lower back? Don't assume steroids, pain meds, and surgery are your only options. Regenerative, restorative, natural solutions are now available.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love.
Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation and learn how regenerative medicine can repair and restore damaged joint tissue.
Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Saturday, September 28th, the Barn at Paint Fork presents the Artemis Pyle Band. Advanced ticket and VIP party deck experience tickets available at barnpf.com. Come experience the legendary Artemis Pyle Band. The Barn at Paint Fork, located just 18 miles north of Charlotte Street exit in Asheville. For tickets and directions, check out barnpf.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, with a front in the vicinity, we're going to keep the shower thunderstorm chance in our forecast, and we'll keep an eye on the Gulf of Mexico for potential impacts from a tropical system late week. Threat for showers and thunder showers continuing this afternoon as the numbers climb up to about 85 degrees. Probably be a little bit cooler in spots if we get rain earlier. Threat for showers and thunderstorms continues tonight, mid-60s. Tuesday and Wednesday, scattered showers, thunderstorms, highs close to 80 on Tuesday. Wednesday, highs will only be near 77. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast Burrito. Wendy's Breakfast Burrito is everything you want for breakfast. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese sauce, bacon, or sausage, all rolled up into one warm tortilla. Want the boss of breakfast burritos? Gotta be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
This football season, whether you're on the field chasing victory or cheering from the stands, Western Carolina orthopedic specialists are here to keep you in the game. From sports injuries to routine care, our team of experts delivers top-notch orthopedic and sports medicine care so you can stay strong all season long. Play hard. We've got your back. Western Carolina orthopedic specialists. Visit us online or call 828-452-4131. That's 828-452-4131.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400 on an Overreaction Monday. Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. Get your thoughts in. Stock up, stock down from the weekend. Our daily draft, always brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale. First pick of the draft. Jeremy, you want it?
I'll give it to you.
Oh, you're going to give it to me. Well, shoot. I was hoping you were going to go first on this one.
I will if you want me to.
I don't have. Yeah, you go ahead. You take your overall winner or loser, and
for me, there's no doubt who it is.
Okay.
Sammy D, MVP, and the Minnesota Vikings. Anybody else, and I think you're out of your gourd.
Really?
They beat the smoke off what we thought was the second or third best team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me who had better or worse of a weekend than those two. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, okay. Worse of a weekend was the entire state of North Carolina football. You had NC State was down 21-0
in 7 minutes
to Clemson. I think it was less than that. I don't think it was quite 7 minutes off the game clock.
I'll look.
It got out of hand in a hurry. Then you had the North Carolina Tar Heels, who just decided we don't want to play this week against James Madison.
They said, okay, I'm through talking now.
They turned the ball over 5 times, all of them resulting in touchdowns, and then had the gall, the coach at the end of the game, or Mack Brown in the press conference after the game had the gall to say, well, if we didn't, have 5 turnovers that resulted in touchdowns, we probably could have won this game. Are you sure about that?
NC State was down 21-0 with 5:07 to go in the first quarter, but they were down 28-0 with 2:08 to go in the first quarter. That's probably why that felt like it happened a little quicker than one would think.
Yeah, 21 points in the first 5 minutes of the game. Is that what you said?
10 minutes.
Oh, first 10 minutes.
5:07 left.
Oh, with 5:07 left. Okay. It felt like it was much quicker than that. Especially after I had spent the last 3 days talking about how, NC State, that's disrespectful. Plus 20 is disrespectful.
Yeah, I believe I will take back betting duties.
Don't ever listen to anything I have to say.
Yeah, Tank, and I will give him credit. He cut that for me, and it sounded just
so good.
And every pick was just, oh boy.
It's just terrible.
You don't see that kind of
No. And then you stack on top of that the Thursday night beatdown that Appalachian State caught to South Alabama. I don't know that a state has had many worse weekends in college football.
Hey, but Duke beat Middle Tennessee State. Let's go, Dukies.
And to me, that's what makes the Tar Heel thing even worse, is that now Duke's coming up this weekend. You got the battle for the victory bell this weekend, and there's not a Tar Heel fan one that even kind of cares, I don't think.
Hold on. We have while you think about we have another super chat. Yeah! It's from our buddy Colin, who is a Chiefs fan. He said, I'm sorry, guys. It was 100% PI on Cook. And what the heck happened to the Texans? I have some big questions about them this season. Tell me if I'm wrong. It doesn't look the same. Tell me if I'm wrong. Colin, I'm going to ask you to put a pin in that for – I can guarantee within the next two picks we're going to talk about the Houston Texans. Just depends on if my fluffy friend over here decides to take them with his next pick or if I have to get them with my next one.
Yes, the Houston Texans were my next one. I mean, because you're a Super Bowl contender. At least we thought you were.
You are.
Are you, though?
It's clunky. It's clunky for sure. But I think it's going to get better.
Okay.
I mean, do you not?
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to get so much better that they're going to start winning games to the level that we thought that they would. Right now,
what
they
is to the
appear
level that we thought that they would.
I mean,
they
had
got
them
a
winning,
bunch of winnable games.
I mean, we had them winning 12 games, and
they could still win 12.
Being the number one seed in the AFC, maybe. And
they could still win 12 games quite easily.
I haven't seen that team yet. I haven't seen that really good knock-em-out team yet. And I get it's just been a few weeks, but you struggled way more than I wanted you to with the first two teams that you played. The Colts and the Bears are not teams that I look at and go, oh, yeah, they should be giving you fits. And those were one-score games. And then you got dusted by Sammy D and the Vikings. I get that they're pretty good to start out the season. Dare I say great to start the season.
The only thing I would caution you about burying or stock downing the Texans, or it's not going to get better. Your leading rusher was not on this team. Your leading receiver was not on this team. Your third leading receiver was hurt in the middle of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to the defense. Your leading tackler was not on this team last year. Your second corner was not on this team. There's a lot of pieces with Houston that still have to come together. And if they do, I think they can be every bit as good as we thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
It's just happening a little slower than we would like.
All right, I'm still going stock down for Houston because they're not what we thought they were yet.
Hit the super chat button.
Okay.
Yeah! Matthew Hoffman said, I think we should address the Chiefs. Pacheco's out for a good amount of time. That surgery was extensive, and teams like the Bills and Chiefs can beat them. The Chiefs look beatable. But for me, it's not because of Isaiah Pacheco. It's because of my next stock down. Travis Kelce looks cooked. I don't know if it's that goofy haircut he's got or if Taylor Swift has been singing him lullabies that have made him a depressed individual. I don't know what is happening with him. That dude looks like he touched a Space Jam ball, and he can't play dead in a cowboy movie. And without Travis Kelce, I got news for you. If this doesn't rebound, Rashee Rice is not enough. There are too many good teams in that AFC. And he has looked horrible.
Yeah, but as long as you got the Zebras on your side, it's all going to be fine.
Hurt anything.
Right. It's all going to be just fine. If they're there to bail you out at the end of every game, sometimes that criticism is unwarranted, in my opinion.
Oh,
right?
It's often unwarranted.
Crazy things happen at the end of games, and yes, penalties happen, but something that blatant. I mean, you've got who was it? Who was the Kansas City Chief that was defending on that?
Brian Cook.
Brian Cook. didn't have his head turned to the ball, was straight up in the defender. I mean, that is textbook pass interference. And how anybody didn't see that. Or it was in the window where New York could have changed it, right?
No.
No?
No, we don't do that anymore.
Well, we should.
I don't disagree.
We most definitely should. Because that is just, you just feed into the narrative of the idiots. That, no, it's rigged.
Oh, God, I'm so glad you said that. I was on a guy's trip last week.
Yeah.
Bunch of business contact friends of mine, some friends from high school, just a bunch of dudes that I know we had a good old time. But I did have to, for over an hour, defend that the NFL's not rigged to every guy on this trip. And they were using Kansas City and different things as an example of why it's rigged. Nobody can ever beat if it's rigged, then why have the last two dynasties been in New England and Kansas City?
Right.
If you're rigging this, you're doing a bad job. And by the way, the Jets and Giants have been terrible outside of, 3 Super Bowls between them in the last 50 years.
Yeah. The L.A. teams, wouldn't they be better?
One would think, but they're not.
Mm-mm.
But you're right. Oh, I feel like now with my next selection, I think I need to go to the college ranks.
Okay.
And there's a song I'm going to need you to play. It's got a little pick and grin into it.
Oh,
There's always going to be a picking and a grinning.
Okay.
Woo! It's never looked cooler to be at Tennessee than it does right now. Not only did you beat Skeletor's brain smack out of his head, because literally he completely lost his mind right before the end of the first half. Then you get Morgan Wallen coming out in your stadium with Josh Heupel, I don't know what that word I just said was, Nico and Peyton Manning in the full uniform. It looks really cool to be at Tennessee right now. And I don't know who is supposed to beat that team, but they look evil right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy into Oklahoma much, and that score is super misleading. Did you watch that game?
I did.
Did you ever feel like that was a 10-point game?
No.
I felt like it's a 40-point game for the vast majority
I felt like Nico Iamaleava was carving them apart most of the game.
By the way,
and I was shocked that the score was what they were up like 20-6 at halftime or something like that.
By the way, I was instructed it's Iamaleava.
Yep.
Is the correct way to say it. It's impossible for me to say.
Mm-hmm.
It looks cool to be a Tennessee Volunteer right now, and that's the name of the game. The name of the game in college football is cool. Who is cooler than them right now? Honestly. That's a legit question. Ohio State look cooler than them right now? Oh, no. Good God, no.
No. That's the biggest hype.
Georgia, it looks really cool if you like to drive cars 113 miles an hour.
No, I would agree with you. Tennessee is the one that looks the best right now because they've been on the national stage more than the others so far this year.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Really?
No. As you say, on the national stage, they played NC State on ESPN, which, that's fine.
And it was on national television. Everybody was watching that
Everybody's
game.
on national television. I genuinely think that's the dumbest argument people make. Everybody's on television. There are 40 national
But nobody was
television.
watching it. That's the thing. Like,
didn't rate well. Just throwing it out there. It didn't rate well.
Tennessee NC State game
first of all, it was a blowout. Which
didn't pull a good number to start?
Not by comparison.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN still, I know that's worldwide leader. That's the name on the door. Yep. That's still cable television.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't an ABC game. Kirk Herbstreit and Reese Davis aren't there doing that game. So, to me, it's not the national landscape. It's that you got an offense that plays 1,000,000 miles an hour. You've got like 8 guys that are going to end up playing in the NFL on the defense. Josh Heupel looks like he is just going full Aaron Rodgers falafel U-train. That has nothing to do with where you played. It has all of these things come together, and then you get the colors in the stadium, and Morgan Wallen's doing concerts out there. This just feels like it feels like the planets are aligning at the perfect time for all of these things to turn up orange. I don't know who's going to be.
Seeing all the warning signs.
In my fan transfer portal, I have no idea who's going to beat them.
Yeah.
There is one. There is one that has a quarterback that's a lot of fun, but
we all know. You're talking about the Ole Miss Rebels.
it's not necessarily what I was talking about.
Really?
It's another color of orange.
Oh, Texas? With Arch?
He's real good at football, as is the other quarterback.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's real good at football, but I mean, it was UL Monroe this past week, so, and it was UTSA the week before that. So
I get it.
Maybe we should see Arch against, I don't know, a team that even belongs on their field. Like, those are two teams that they should never even play, right? If we're going to use that whole, y'all should stop playing cupcakes, those two teams would be on that list for me. So,
well, UTSA's been in the top 25 pretty recently.
Are they any good now?
Not really.
Well,
they're not a team that you can go, well, you shouldn't play that game. Well, then who in the world am I supposed to play? If you want me to take $500,000 from James Madison for them to kick me in the Junum, I'll pass.
I don't think they're going to do that to many teams.
I don't believe. What, score 70 points?
Yeah.
James Madison's really good.
They ain't that good.
Against the defense that bad they are. I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot of Carolina fans that are ready to like jump off a cliff at this point.
No doubt about it.
James Madison's the best group of five school in this country, and it's not close.
Really?
The only one that would compete with them would be Boise. That's it. That is it. They've lost a game in 2 years. They're good. They're really good. Now I'm a little biased because the guy that built that program, somebody that I'm pretty close to.
I was gonna say you should not be doing that to James Madison. I don't care if they are the best group of five school. You shouldn't be surrendering 70 points.
I wasn't giving you an out. People are making it sound like Western Carolina did this to them.
It might as well have been.
That's the Tank has to say ridiculous things in like groups of three. There's a huge difference there. Absolutely ridiculously huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
One of them probably plays in the playoff. Boise State's got losable games. It just matters where you're ranked.
James Madison doesn't.
Tell me who's going to beat them.
I don't know. I hadn't even looked at their schedule.
I have. There's nobody there.
Well, congratulations, Tar Heels.
I believe the second.
You embarrassed yourself against a playoff team. Congratulations.
I believe the
that
second
doesn't make
best
me feel
team
any better.
I think the second best team on their schedule is like. I'll have to look. I'll look in the break.
Who, James Madison? Is that who you're talking about?
James Madison plays nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're like me and you like to wager sports, you could have wagered that game with our friends at the DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. If you've never really made wagers, you can start with something as easy as a touchdown, or you can go against the money line, the spread, however you want to do it. And all of those things are yours with the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and it's right at the tip of your fingers. Score big with the DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet football. Download the Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
Some have said that rallying middle schoolers is a lot like herding cats. To the moms and dads out there who control the chaos and make herding cats look more like corralling kittens, we at Ingalls tip our hats. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. So call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Celebrate the spirit of Oktoberfest in Asheville. Saturday, October the 5th at Pack Square Park. Oktoberfest features 20-plus local breweries, cideries, wineries, and distilleries. You can indulge in delicious German-style cuisine from local food vendors and dance along to the lively tunes of the polka band Lagerhosen. Get your tickets now at AshevilleDowntown.org. AshevilleDowntown.org. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though, we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, live in the Ingalls studio. The Daily Draft brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale. And stock up, stock down from the weekend. So far, Jeremy's taken Sammy D MVP.
Sammy D MVP.
Travis Kelce and the Tennessee Volunteers. I've got I took all the North Carolina college football teams, just between North Carolina, NC State, Appalachian State, all just getting blown out, making every person in the state go, oh yeah, this is the time where we go, hey, thank God it's basketball season.
If anybody thought coming into this week that we would come out of this weekend going, hey, at least we had the Panthers.
Which is my next stock up.
Hold on, before you do that, we got a super chat.
Oh goodness! All right.
Yeah. Red Sea was worried that Sammy D MVP season had been derailed. He had an MRI, just a bone bruise, no structural damage.
Mm-hmm.
He is fine.
He is fine.
And we have another one from Jack S. Yeah. With the new powers in college football, Saban gone, and a playoff bracket, do you think there is finally parity in college football again, or will it turn to a new team?
I do not feel there's much parity in college football these days.
I do.
You do?
It's not. It depends on what you mean by parity. Do I think you're going to get 6 new teams a year in the playoff? No, sir, I do not.
Mm-mm.
Do I think you could have 6 different champions in 6 years? Yes, sir, I do.
There is a potential for that. Because going through the gauntlet of the 12-team playoff is not going to be easy for anybody, clearly.
The one thing I can tell you definitively, I don't care who the Power 5 school is that plays the Group of 5 winner, they are going to mush their face every single year. If you tell me Penn State played James Madison, cool, I'll take Penn State minus whatever number you throw on that. I don't care what it is. 32.5. In.
Take it.
Mush it. Make you hold my pocket. That's the way it's going to go.
Really? Okay. All right.
If you don't know what that means, Google it.
Stock up for the Carolina Panthers. Specifically, I'm going stock up for Dave Canales. Because before this, the chatter was already starting of, oh, God, here we go. Another failed coaching hire, another failed administration. This is never going to get better.
And that's insane to me.
What?
That there was chatter of that.
Of course there is, because fans are crazy.
2 games in. Good Lord have mercy.
Because fans are crazy, and they go, oh, you know what? We brought in the wrong guy again. He can't fix Bryce Young. And then what you got to see this weekend was what the Dave Canales experience can be like on offense when you have a quarterback that actually has a little bit of confidence to step out on the field, is able to make some reads. That's the kind of thing that you can have here. Now I feel like this takes a lot of pressure off of Dave. He's got the first win out of the way. They don't have to roll up a great season after this. You don't got to go down and win, 6-7 games. I think this little window gives you enough to go, okay, well, maybe this coach can make a difference. Maybe we can build something with this guy. But I think we definitively know that it's not going to happen with Bryce Young. But I think this was a good weekend for Dave Canales. And then I got to go stock down for the Missouri Tigers. So I'm not sure exactly what that was against Vanderbilt, but I mean, it's not as bad as, giving up 70 points to James Madison. But you should not have to go to overtime to beat Vanderbilt, who is one of the worst teams in SEC history.
Hold on. I'm getting a call in my head. Missouri said Georgia, Kentucky called. And we would like to say, nice to meet you, Pot. We're Kettle.
Yes, and just like last week when Georgia was a stock down after their almost lost to Kentucky, Missouri's a stock down after their almost lost to Vanderbilt.
I've never really believed that Missouri belonged up here. I mean, you're in the top 10 because there was some hope going in. You don't look like a top 10 team to me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm a little dismissive of
Paper
it.
Tiger. All right, your next stock up, stock down, Jeremy.
Mine is a gigantic stock down to the Lincoln-Riley connection. Could somebody explain to me how one man managed to typhoon 2 institutions that were this high in the pecking order of college football? Could you explain that to me, please? Because you broke Oklahoma. Oklahoma couldn't stop a nosebleed with a roll of paper towels. But Brent Venables, he sucks on ice. And that is the nicest way I can say that. He is the worst coach I've ever seen. Now, I give you an example. And I woke up from my golf-induced slumber to state this. When you sit down Jackson Arnold, why would you not do it at halftime? Anybody explain that to me? You have a true freshman that's coming out here and knows squat of what it's like to play college quarterback. So you set him out there with 2 minutes to go with absolutely no shot of him scoring. Then you let Josh Heupel go into the locker room and prepare for the mobile quarterback. Why would you not do it at halftime? You just signaled everything you're going to do in the second half. And I looked at that and went, I would have fired him at halftime.
Yep.
I would have handed it to the defensive coordinator of you are too stupid to be a major Power 5 head coach in college football, and you got to go, Skeletor. You go back to Clemson and boost up Dabo Swinney again.
Okay.
Speaking of Dabo Swinney.
How is that Lincoln Riley's fault?
He left there. Didn't recruit defense for however many years.
Okay.
And now you can't get defensive players to go there. They looked so little against Tennessee. Tennessee just ran it down their throats time after time after time after time. And now you look at USC and go, oh, I see what's happening here. Because you look like Oklahoma West. Because Michigan ran it down your throat. They had 32 passing yards. 32. My biggest regret that I was unable to call into this show Friday was to say, you should take Michigan against USC. I know. It doesn't make any sense because they got a quarterback. I don't care. Take Michigan. But didn't happen, so I can't take credit for it.
No.
Although my DraftKings account is credited with it. So
nice.
That's good, too.
Good for you.
And my next stock up, and you know what? It's painful for me to say this, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Stock up, Clemson Tigers. Go Tigers. Right now, Miami and Clemson feel like they're on a collision course for each other in the ACC championship game. The rest of that conference is BADD, bad.
Total trash.
Who's third best team in the ACC right now?
I don't know the answer.
I will accept your opinion or any of the 1-0 teams. We haven't even gotten into conference play yet. Louisville has 1 win. Boston College has 1. Virginia has 1. Clemson has 1. Stanford has 1. This conference is awful. Awful. Terrible.
But can they get 2 in the playoff?
I'm going to say no, Bob.
Yeah. It's not great. Not great. All right, let's see here. Next, stock up, stock down for me. You know what? I'm giving the stock up to Justin Fields. Justin Fields and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because, beating the Chargers is not the greatest win of all time, obviously. But you're 3-0, and I'm not sure how this works. I'm not sure how it's working, but so far it's working. And once again, the Steelers are doing Steelery things. You beat the Falcons. You beat the god-awful Broncos. And you beat the Chargers. I feel like you're working your way up here. Because that Falcons team that you beat, they're better than that now, but they were a god-awful team that first week. So I feel like you're kind of climbing the ladder here. Take a step back if you get a win next week against the Colts, but you got a chance to be 4-0 going into the Dallas game. And everybody knows about that rivalry and the history that exists there, Steelers-Cowboys.
So I feel like there were several people in the YouTube chat, Red Sea included, that said, Jeremy went stock up on Clemson. It's the end of times. You think that's bad? Wait till you hear what's about to come out of my mouth. Justin Fields is playing really, really well for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He is. He was super efficient yesterday, and it just seems to fit, kind of.
If you remember, we said that Arthur Smith was the one coach that ran a scheme that made sense for Justin Fields.
We did. We were kind of in love with the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be looking to get rid of Justin Fields, and maybe he needs to go to Atlanta. Well, lo and behold, here's Arthur Smith up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He gets Justin Fields, and it looks about as efficient as we thought it would. And then I got to go stock down for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm surprised nobody done it yet. And I get that the faith hasn't been there that the Cowboys are a good team or not.
Their stock really didn't drop much for me.
But this is really because, I mean, with every loss that you have, it's going to get worse and it's going to get louder. And when you have Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons calling out teammates in the media after the game, how does this get better? When you have Jason Garrett on Football Night in America talking about how the Dallas Cowboys are going to win 4 games this year, it's as bad as it's ever been, Dallas Cowboys fans.
I have a very obvious one that you didn't say.
Yep.
The Tampa Baconeers. Fire them cannons, by golly. Holy crap, that was awful.
It was awful.
We got smoked like a deli meat by the Denver Broncos.
Yep. It don't get much worse than
all
that.
of you that were, you're too low on Tampa. You're a Baker hater. Do you see why? Do you maybe see why? Because all of you lose your minds on him every single year. We just do this on repeat. I can't this is like Baker Mayfield and Tim Tebow are the same guy. Because the people that tell me they buy into him, I honest to God think you're so far out of your mind that I can't even argue with you anymore. Because I feel bad. It's almost like talking to a puppy of just, I know you shouldn't poop in the floor, but you keep pooping in the floor. Stop doing that. And I just...
That was adorable. Jeremy with his little hands and his little puppy in his hand.
Just stop pooping in the floor.
Yeah. I mean, it was the worst loss in the NFL this week.
Oh, beyond a shadow of a doubt. I could make the argument that's the worst loss in the NFL in the last 3 years. Because I straight up cannot think of one worse. Because I couldn't figure out who you were supposed to beat.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked at them over and over again. And I just, okay, like Bo Nix is supposed to be who again? Because this math is not mathing to me. You know what math is mathing to me?
What's that?
It's Monday Night Football. Our official watch place of Monday Night Football, our new watch place, Casablanca Cigar Bar, down there in Biltmore Village. And tonight, $4 beers. $4. You can't buy a beer in this town anywhere for $4. And 5 cigars, 20% off. They're giving you the box special. You don't have to buy the whole box. You just have to buy 5. Get 20% off. Go see them in Biltmore Village or at the location at 411 North Main Street in Hendersonville.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. When we come back for the break, it'll be time for the biggest or the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, with a front in the vicinity, we're going to keep the shower thunderstorm chance in our forecast, and we'll keep an eye on the Gulf of Mexico for potential impacts from a tropical system late week. Threat for showers and thunder showers continuing this afternoon as the numbers climb up to about 85 degrees. Probably be a little bit cooler in spots if you get rain earlier. Threat for showers and thunderstorms continues tonight, mid-60s. Tuesday and Wednesday, scattered showers, thunderstorms, highs close to 80 on Tuesday. Wednesday, highs will only be near 77. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Everyone goes through tough times. You don't have to do it alone. Dial 988. Talk with someone who cares and get to a better place. Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. 988. Let's get through it together. Brought to you by NCDHHS.
iHeartRadio brings you Global Citizen Festival 2024 from New York City at Central Park's Great Lawn. Live performances from Post Malone, Doja Cat, Jelly Roll, Benson Boone, and more. Join the movement to end extreme poverty now, one action at a time at globalcitizenfestival.com. Hear the entire festival live on the iHeartRadio app all day this Saturday, and the best of the best moments on the free iHeartRadio app's Hit Nation station. Saturday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Hello, parents. It's Mr. Jim, and I want to invite your kids to listen to Kids Short Stories. You see, kids all around the world listen to Kids Short Stories and send in their ideas, and every single day, I create a brand new story about them finding treasure, stopping the bad guy, or flying on a unicorn. If you're looking to cut down on screen time, search for Mr. Jim. So listen to Kid Short Stories on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Summit Dental gives you dental visits without the anxiety. Hey, it's Mark Starling from First News on 570, and that's what they did for me. You know, your comfort is their priority, and they do all they can to put you at ease and personalize that experience. Summit Dental's complimentary comfort menu includes items like aromatherapy, heated neck wraps, and blankets. Dr. Reinhardt and his staff make your dental experience comfortable and one that you understand, moving at your pace and letting you know what they're doing before they do it. Learn more about why Summit Dental is 5-star rated on Google.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General.
1400, it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Let's go to New York. Queens, New York. Got lots of crimes up there. This past week, a 17-year-old girl and a 17-year-old male. I don't know why you call one a 17-year-old male and one a 17-year-old girl. Should it not be a 17-year-old boy and 17-year-old girl, or male and female?
You're really getting stuck on details here.
I'm sorry. It's
got two games to break down.
I'm just saying. It's a little irritating when you don't use the same. Anyhow, all right, sorry. That's my OCD kicking in. The MTA says last Thursday night, the 17-year-olds broke into an unoccupied train and were able to make this train operable and drove it. Now, they didn't drive it very far. They drove it about 50 feet until it bumped into another train, did minimal damage to the train. Not that big of a deal. The part of the story that gets me, though, is that they have released security footage of these two, which they say may be responsible for doing this before. I don't understand the purpose of this crime. You get into a train that really can't go anywhere because there's another train in front of it. You just get in, want to joyride it for 50 feet, and then go, hey, we're done.
Hey,
this is fun. Wasn't it fun?
That'd be like hopping on the cockaboose at South Carolina. Be like, I'm a train conductor. Woo, woo. It doesn't have a motor, stupid.
It don't move.
Yeah, it doesn't have a motor there, dummy.
I mean, thankfully, no one was hurt. Thankfully, they didn't have a whole bunch of track to go. I just feel like this is a major problem. The New York City subway should not be just accessible to anyone to be able to get into a train and operate it. Wrong?
No.
Right? Like, that seems like a bad idea.
My story also comes from New York, and I'm going to do that thing where I leave out a very important piece of a story.
Okay.
Do you know who Steven Crowder is?
Yes.
He hosts a podcast called Louder with Crowder.
Yes, prove me wrong.
He is a conservative digital show host.
Mm-hmm. He's the prove me wrong guy that you see in all of those memes.
So he sent someone out with a hidden camera to talk to a reasonably famous person.
Okay.
About COVID mandates and all the things that happened in New York between 2020 and 2021.
Was it Dr. Ducey?
It was not Dr. Douchy.
Okay.
No, we didn't do that one. But you're not that far off.
Huh.
At which point, this particular person said that they had been going to sex-fueled Anthony orgies, drug and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Just went on a rant. I can't even give you quotes because he went on for so long that I can't pick which one I want to use the most, which has now been put out there.
Yeah.
Who do you think this person was?
Oh, was it a Cuomo?
It was Dr. J. Varma, the one that actually forced the mandates in New York City.
Awesome.
So you were going to sex parties while you're telling everybody they're going to kill grandma for a hug.
Yeah.
Get somewhere. We should be able to put you in jail for the rest of your life for being a thing that I just called that doctor a second ago.
He was looking for hypocrite. That was the word.
I was looking for a word that would have gotten me Alabama fired. I just didn't want to say it because I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
You are the worst kind of person, and you deserve what you get. You twit. And that's the word that I wanted to use. It just had a different vowel.
Aha.
Aha!
Yeah, good for you. Monday Night Football tonight. We have a doubleheader. 7:30 kickoff in Buffalo. The Jacksonville Jaguars against the Buffalo Bills. 8:15 start for the Washington Commanders at the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's start with the Jags and the Bills. How do you see this game unfolding?
Very boringly. I have virtually no interest in this game.
None.
What interests me? Like, give me the hook here.
It's a good answer. The good question, because I don't know the answer to that. I mean, unless you are a Buffalo Bills fan just looking for Buffalo to flex some more muscle, which they should be able to do against Jacksonville.
Can you explain to me why sharp money's on Jacksonville?
I cannot.
Because that sounds dumb to dumb to dumb.
Maybe it's just too many points. It's 5.5 point spread.
5.5 is not too many points. It's just not. I mean, I don't get it. Very rarely do I see where the money is, and it's not overwhelming. The money's about half and half, but Buffalo's got markedly higher percentage of slips. I just don't see it. I mean, what are we waiting on? I feel like watching for Trevor Lawrence to turn into the quarterback we thought he would be.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like sitting in the woods making Sasquatch calls. Why are you making that noise? Sasquatch call. What tells you that? I don't know. I read it in a book. He's coming out one day. I swear to God he is. If I do this for long enough, Sasquatch is walking right through the woods right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Billy Bob, you sound insane. Just like everybody telling me how good Trevor Lawrence is. You sound out of your mind.
You sounds incredible dumb.
You sounds incredible dumb.
Buffalo
I can't
Bills
wait
fans
for the first person to do that to me on this track. Whoever it is, I swear to God, I'll give you, if we've got, whatever I have with me, first person that walks up and makes that noise at me, I will give you something free out of the Parks Ford Mobile Studio. And now I want it to happen like 100 times. What is that? That's a show sound. We're idiots. Like we're just taking our both morons.
The 5.5 point spread. The over under is 46.5.
Oh, this is a great time to break out another thing that we used to do a lot back in the day.
Yep.
I think this is going to be 30-6. Buffalo is going to beat your brains out of the back of your head. Do you hear any lies in anything
I do
that
not.
I've told her?
I'm sitting here racking my brain trying to think of how it wouldn't turn out that way. But I have no faith in the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've played two bad teams and lost to them both. And what do you think is going to happen if they run into a good team? Which I think the Buffalo Bills have proven. They're pretty good.
Well, they have a good quarterback. And I look at the secondary. How in the world do you think you're going to stop him from doing whatever he wants to do?
Is this finally a game where Keon Coleman's going to score a point in fantasy?
I told you it'd take a minute. Look, Tank.
It's taking a little longer than I want it to.
Look, Tank, sometimes it takes 7 years for me to be right like it was with Sammy D MVP. Doesn't change that I'm right.
That's right.
Just might take a minute.
Still waiting on Josh Palmer season, baby.
Well, if he'd stop getting hurt, that'd be great. Because it's become Quentin Johnston season, baby. Stupid Quentin Johnston. It's supposed to be Josh Palmer's touchdowns.
Lad McConkey. He's not doing bad things either. Just saying.
You mean Julian Edelman after he touched that star from Mario? Because that's what Lad McConkey is.
Yep. He a dog.
He's a hyperactive Danny Amendola. I don't know if I'd call that a dog.
All right, now that one you say has no interest.
And the other one does so much.
Steven Tao says, that there's nothing exciting about the Jaguars-Bills game. The Washington Commanders and the Cincinnati Bengals.
They are so bad at stopping the run that I actually think Washington's going to keep this close.
Really?
I do. I think this game's going to be close.
I mean, what's wrong? I have to ask the question, like, what is wrong with Joe Burrow? Is there anything wrong with Joe Burrow and the passing game? And Is this not the game where it should all come to fruition and we go, holy cow, there's MVP Joe Burrow?
Oh, I believe that will happen. The problem is that I'm not real sure that Cincinnati can consistently stop Jaden Daniels. I love the over in this game. I think it's going to be close for way longer than it should be. I like Brian Robinson in this game. I like Austin Eckler in this game. I like every piece of this game. If I was playing on DraftKings in the showdown where you get these two games, you got to have the captain. You know the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have to have one player out of the second game, and it would be a kicker. Or Josh Allen. I might take Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it because I don't know how I'll make the money work. I want every piece of this one. I will bet the average NFL fan, their watching time bouncing between these games will be 10% Buffalo, Jacksonville, and 90% this one.
Okay.
I've been wrong before.
I hope it's
this just has really entertaining Monday night football game between two teams that should not be as close as they are written all over it.
Well, because they kind of match up perfectly of what one team does best, the other team's worse at. Right? The best thing that Washington does is run the damn ball. And Cincinnati can't seem to stop it. By the way, they don't have a defensive line tonight. There's no Sheldon Rankins. There's no B.J. Hill. Chris Jenkins Jr. is going to be making his starting debut, I believe.
Oh, boy.
In the middle of that offensive line, or in the middle of that defensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Let me see if I have a projection of snap totals here, just because I'm really curious.
And they have already given up big rushers every time they've hit the field this year. Brian Robinson's coming off the game where he had, 133 yards rushing last week? So, yes, they could do that. But
I'm just going down the list of guys that Cincinnati's going to chuck out there.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah. They have nothing on the defensive line to stop the running game.
Zach Carter. How is that dude still in the NFL? Like, if you gave me $1 million, I couldn't tell you.
But then, is there any worse secondary than Washington?
No.
And
there's going to
now
be
you have Joe
points.
Burr, and you have T. Higgins is playing tonight.
Yeah, and Jamar
and
Chase.
You got Jamar Chase. Like, this lines up to be Cincinnati should just pound them. But if you can't stop them on the other end, then it just leads to Washington grinding out your defense and having no ability to stop them, especially late in the game.
Yeah.
Which could be crucial. Unless you're scoring every 4 plays.
Who can least afford a loss tonight?
Cincinnati Bengals.
I don't agree with you.
Okay, who is it?
Jacksonville Jaguars. You get embarrassed tonight. It may not happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gone.
Oh, they're blowing it up.
Somebody asked me this over the weekend, and I didn't have a good answer at the time. If Jacksonville were to fire Doug Peterson,
mm-hmm.
who do they hand it over to? Press Taylor's been a joke. You cannot hand this to him.
I don't know. Who else is on that staff?
I've gone up and down the staff trying to figure out, Mike McCoy is the best answer I have. He's the quarterback's coach. That's the only one I got. They will clean house of this team. Maybe they give it to Ryan Nielsen. Maybe, but he's young and doesn't have a whole lot of experience. He's been in the league for a long time, but I think he's been a coordinator for 2 years.
And you think they're doing that after 3 weeks? Or is this the game that begins
if you're
the cleansing?
This would be the one that guarantees it. To me. You get embarrassed tonight, which I think you're going to. I don't see how in the world you're going to just keep going down the path. You've already paid Trevor. You're committed there. You're committed to all these guys that you've invested capital in. Who's left? It's either Trent Baalke or it's Doug Peterson or it's what I think, and it's all of them. and you just go pillar to post. Chris Richard's also on this staff.
I think that would be the answer.
That's probably the right answer. I don't know if they would do it, but it's certainly the right answer.
Yeah.
You know what else is the right answer?
What's that?
Casablanca Cigar Bar as your location tonight for Monday Night Football, because it is Monday. It's America's favorite pastime. It's America's favorite night of football, and you should get down there tonight for our new favorite place to watch Monday Night Football. Tonight, $4 beers and 20% off 5-cigar deal as opposed to having to buy the whole box. Buy 5 cigars, get 20% off of all of them from our friends at Casablanca Cigar Bar. Go see them tonight, 18 Lodge Street in Biltmore Village or at 411 North Main Street in Hendersonville, and tell them Jeremy from the Sportsocracy sent you.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, back with you tomorrow at noon for a Power Rankings Tuesday. Of course, we will have all of the recap of the Monday Night Football doubleheader as well. As always, enjoy the football. We'll see you tomorrow.
Saturday, September 28th, the Barn at Paint Fork presents the Artemis Pyle Band. Advanced ticket and VIP party deck experience tickets available at barnpf.com. Come experience the legendary Artemis Pyle Band. The Barn at Paint Fork, located just 18 miles north of Charlotte Street exit in Asheville. For tickets and directions, check out barnpf.com.
It's TD season, baby. Tutties, taking it to the house, whatever you want to call your touchdowns. They matter more with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. And get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Celebrate the spirit of Oktoberfest in Asheville. Saturday, October the 5th at Pack Square Park. Oktoberfest features 20-plus local breweries, cideries, wineries, and distilleries. You can indulge in delicious German-style cuisine from local food vendors and dance along to the lively tunes of the polka band Lagerhosen. Get your tickets now at AshevilleDowntown.org. AshevilleDowntown.org. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
Going to big box retailers for batteries? Flag on the flag. Locally owned Rainy Battery has the lowest prices on all your battery needs. Don't fumble when you can find everything from watch batteries to batteries for cars, RVs, trucks, golf carts, and more at Rainy Battery. Get brands you know and trust like AC Delco, Motorcraft for the lowest prices, plus custom battery cables made in-house. Go to rainybattery.com or stop in today for a quote. That's rainybattery.com.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though, we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day, and smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, with a front in the vicinity, we're going to keep the shower thunderstorm chance in our forecast, and we'll keep an eye on the Gulf of Mexico for potential impacts from a tropical system late week. Threat for showers and thunder showers continuing this afternoon as the numbers climb up to about 85 degrees. Probably be a little bit cooler in spots if you get rain earlier. Threat for showers and thunderstorms continues tonight, mid-60s. Tuesday and Wednesday, scattered showers, thunderstorms, highs close to 80 on Tuesday. Wednesday, highs will only be near 77. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services.
Disasters at home from floods, fires, or storm is a homeowner's worst nightmare. It pays to have a professional on your side, and that's exactly what you get with First Restoration Services. They've built their business off trust, integrity, speed, and quality. Learn more online at FRS247.com.
When you're ready to go back in the day, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it. Allow me to introduce myself.
Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the